And we're live. We're missing. Shannon's just ducking into shot, I think. There we go. Okay, we've got a. Oh, just about. Very slow internet, though. Everyone's in the right place. Brilliant. All right. Hello, those watching. Welcome to Eaters of the Earth, episode 11, I believe this is. Yes, it is. It's the strange and twisted nightmare science fantasy world where I think today everything might go wrong. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a little while. We weren't here last week.
Goes wrong every week, Liam.
Hasn't it gone wrong enough?
When has it gone right?
True. Yeah, I mean, you know, I hold you lot accountable for that, though. Really. So, yeah.
If we're still streaming this next April, we should do an episode called Easters of the Earth. Right, so that's just my contribution.
Yeah, that's good.
Mute myself.
Well done, Harry.
Now.
Harry, you can have inspiration for that. Well done, you.
I wanted to do an April Fool's session where I did a... Know that guy? You know that guy, Liam.
I don't think we should just talk vaguely about that guy. This isn't really good content. Should we just get on with the D&D?
I was hoping you'd say his name. He's the famous guy.
The famous guy.
He writes the sex D&D books.
He writes the D&D books. What, Chris?
Sex D&D books. The sex D&D books.
The sex D&D books. What do you do? Oh, do you mean Chuck Tingle?
Yes. I was going to do a Chuck Tingle.
Yeah. Okay. Great, Shannon. Thanks for that insight into your life.
D&D books.
No, he doesn't. He just writes.
Is there
books.
like a Chuck Tingle source book?
There is a game. There is a Chuck Tingle game. Anyway, I think we're
Really?
getting a little distracted. So we should, as always, thank Freehold Games for giving us permission to use this setting. Eat as the Earth is inspired by the video game Caves of Cud. Thanks as always to them for letting us play within this world. Anyway, has anyone got any notes, or should we just get into the recap for last session? We all good to go? All right, ace. So last time, you had left the ruins of Abarn with the bodies of immortal sleepers. We've kind of decided on calling them, and you'd headed south for Osiro on the wizard Ilehk's orders. Let's just get up the map quickly so people can see where we are. Along your way, coming over the Zura hills, some of you were visited by strange dreams in the night, which you can reflect on your own time. Reaching Osiro, you saw that this refugee town has expanded quite a lot, and that this strange new fungus has begun to grow here, named the Blood of Os. You met with Sethnet, the village elder, who introduced you to two Oseth knights, one named Kimwaset, Harry's new character, another named Basuk, who had recently come to Osiro. Sethnet took you into Ilehk's tent, and therein, over the course of 2 days, Kirilia and Ailey have used their respective magics to aid Ilehk in investigating this Shale Plague disease that horribly grips the Oseth people and has also afflicted the city of Behel. Meanwhile, in the Oseth community beyond your tent, hunger and plague bearing down upon them, Kimwaset, you had begun to sense that there was a growing distrust, a souring of the mood for the rest of the party and for Ilehk. Your tireless labour, regardless, bore fruit, and Ilehk reveals that he now knows what spell he must perform to cure the Shale Plague, and also revealed that he has not yet asked the Oseth to help fight and protect Behel from the encroaching Thype army. Discussing the matter, you convinced Ilehk that he would also have to provide the Oseth with shelter and food in Behel in exchange for their loyalty. And in response, he smashed this device, this small ball of chrome, and said that as a result he would soon be visited by someone with which to discuss these things. And we ended with Ilehk summoning Sethnet and the other elders to discuss his discoveries, his terms, and Ailey used this new magic she had been taught in her dreams to seek answers from beyond time. And meanwhile, to the east, the banners of Moda Raythor's forces have been seen marching for Behel. So there isn't much time. So, has anyone got any questions before we begin? Nope, we're all good to go.
Yes, I do. No, I do.
Yes, I
Um,
also do.
it
What's
occurred
up?
to me that I wasn't actually aware last session exactly how much I knew what Ilehk was doing. Not me, myself, like Chemishet, the
Chemishet has
character.
been largely absent from the tent, so your experience is primarily just kind of keeping guard over the place, and then after a few days, maybe you've caught a few strange sounds from within. Ilehk has come out and asked you to gather the Sethnet to discuss what he's learned, basically. So you've got very limited knowledge currently. You have also you've got your comrade Basuk has been saying that this might invite ruin and so on. So you can certainly interpret things or listen to other people's viewpoints if you want. But in terms of things you objectively know, fairly little. Sam, did you have a question?
Am I re-rolling my luck rolls?
So it hasn't been a new day yet.
is it the same as
So,
before?
and we do need to start with Karillia and Ailey making wisdom saving throws, and Karillia making a constitution saving throw, as you have been doing grisly, mentally and physically taxing work, and we're going to see if this has worn down upon you.
Okie dokie.
So I rolled an 8.
Nice.
Which I don't... It's a 15. My roll is a 15.
Okay. Ailey, very kind of logical, methodical. You can remove yourself, you can remove the stress from the situation here and just deal things in a mechanical way, and this doesn't burden you so much that it has any impact upon how you operate. How did Karillia do, Shannon?
I wanted to ask, is Lola helping me with Constitution, or is she not doing that anymore?
Yeah, Lola's going to make a medicine check. She does not succeed, so you're just making a straight Constitution check.
Okay. Well, for Wisdom, I got 15. Constitution, I got a healthy 9.
Healthy 9. Your mind can keep up, but your body, you've been overexerting yourself with your psychic energy. That has taken a toll, so you have 1 level of exhaustion currently. Lola's, because she can help you on the first day.
My window because it's very
Yeah, just all right. But yeah, Karillia has been a bit worn down by her physical exertions here. All right, you back with us,
Sorry.
Shannon? Yeah, cool. Cool. Does that answer everyone's questions? Anything else, or should we begin? Okay, so to open, it is early evening. The setting sun through the eastbound clouds turns them into a churning bloody red. To some, such evening colours are considered an ill omen for the day to follow. What quorum Osiro can muster has gathered in Sethnet's abode. Remnants of Oseth finery have been produced, ceremonial clothing and blankets, now ragged and worn, and the Oseth leaders sit in a perfectly neat triangle with Sethnet at the front, flanked by 4 kneeling knights. You recognise Chemishet, seated behind Sethnet, who has been asked to attend this as an advisor rather than a knight. You imagine that such decorum would have once been displayed in one of the great white halls of the Oseth kingdom, where it is said that the very bones of the ancients grew and entwined to form palaces and walls that basked in the sun. Now such matters are held within a cramped, muddy room, illuminated by only a fire pit in between you. And yet, although the architectural affectations are gone, the ritualistic display shines with an unmistakable nobility, the neatness, their stillness, the firmness of their gaze. The world has taken a lot from the Oseth, but you see that their pride remains. Barnelect, having spent the day walking amongst the people here in Osiro, you've been witness to the ongoing construction of some of these squat clay buildings, one of which you sit in now. You know that Oseth children haul urns of clay and water for hours up the mountain's bank from the crook of the Zura River, and stack them against a frame of gnarled branches of blood of Os. You've seen that the older buildings here were built upon a frame of wood instead, and perhaps have caught yourself thinking that the blood of Os was a small miracle for the Oseth once they felled the last nearby tree. Blankets depicting twisting insects and ancient Oseth royalty have been laid out, clearly marking where Ilehk, Lola, Kurilia, Ailey, and Barney should sit. Ailey, having stayed behind for a moment, is the last to join, entering the doorway and taking a place in silence. Now, before anyone opens their mouths, I just want to ask if there's anything anyone's doing, anything they're thinking, those kind of things. Just if you've got any kind of plans or reactions to this scenario.
Ailey is a watcher. She's not going to take any direct centre stage or say anything unless she has to.
Cool.
But she is watching for things others would conceal.
Okay, I might ask you to make an insight check at some point then. All right. Harry, I will say, so Kimushet is seated behind Setnet, so you can whisper in his ear if you wish to convey things, or speak out loud. Within the kind of convoluted system here, it is the case that because you're close enough to Setnet, you have enough authority to speak out loud in these matters, whereas those behind you would have to whisper in each other's ears and kind of successively move their complaints, ideas, points, whatever, forward. The kind of maybe an overly complex system that's a remnant of Oseth decorum, but it has endured here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
I think I'm going to fuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean that you should just kind of like make funny jokes all the time or anything. Obviously, you understand there's a certain atmosphere here.
Are there any like shared like in jokes or memes that me and Seth have shared?
Are there any funny memes? I will leave that up to you to improvise, if you want. Although there's not exactly an abundance
awful
of
mistake you've just made, Liam.
Yeah, I've realised this is really bad. I will say there's not an abundance of mirth in Osiro. So
Sethnet's serious. People are dying. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen him visibly.
So it's more like a
like-
Doomer thing, then, is it? Or what?
Yeah, it's
like ironic, like depression memes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's
right.
Kimuset black pilled. Yeah, it's
Oh, when the bone crumbles off your face.
That feel then.
Anyway. Ilehk has sat down. There's a moment of kind of silence, maybe some anticipation. Eventually, Sethnet is the first to speak. What have you found, wizard? And Ilehk begins to explain. He can cure the plague. It is possible, and it can be done effectively immediately. Although will require him and his companions, indicating to Ailey and Kurilia and Lola, to rest tonight, as the process will be taxing. Actually, I say at this point immediately, Ailey can give me a insight check. Actually,
I fucked it. I rolled a 9.
you rolled a 9. Okay.
After modifiers. Yeah, I rolled a 2 on the dice, so it's...
Okay. I mean, I think even though just because you're looking for this, and it's not like they're trying to hide it or anything. Actually, I'll make a roll. Yeah. Well, I rolled a 4 for Sethnet. You can see that he is. There is a visible response of kind of concern, irritation, perhaps anger at the idea of kind of Ilehk talking about resting, of being like, oh, we should take our time with this. And then Ilehk raises the point that he is in need of aid, that the city of Behel is marched upon by Thippian soldiers, and that he requires the aid of the Oseth to help protect the city. In return for curing the Shale Plague, he expects them to devote what people they have that can fight to that cause. Pretty much immediately, you see the kind of the ripple of anger go through these people here, and even these 4 flanking knights who are, you know, kind of sitting there kneeling, supposed to be in a kind of completely still pose, do have a kind of a moment of their brows creasing.
Expect is a strong word in this context, isn't it?
Is Ailey saying that? Because you are free. Anyone is
No,
free to
but it is like... a bad miss.
Yeah, I mean, you've known Ilehk long enough to know that he's not the most charismatic person. I mean, he might be charismatic in his own way, but he's
a
not.
wanker.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's. Cool. I'll see you in a sec, Sam. All right. This kind of immediately. I mean, Harry, you hear kind of whispering behind you, and someone leans forward to whisper in your ear. You must pass to Satan. This was not discussed with us previously. This is completely back to front. This wizard has not been up front and should honour his pledge to cure us first, well before any such matters are discussed, such as aid.
Yeah, I'm going to pass that forward to Satan.
So you are free to doctor that in any way you want, by the way. And I will say, Keemishet will know about. You'll know that there are about, in terms of people who are kind of competent, soldier caste. There's about 200, 300 people, Oseth, who are of that and so could competently, have some training as soldiers. Of people like you, of knights, there's only about 50, and then there's about 300 people who, are untrained but are fit enough to fight if it comes to that. So there's about 600 people here who can competently engage in war. Just to let you know that ahead of time.
Yeah, okay. Like what I'm passing forward is like Sethnet. There is some dissatisfaction behind us about the lack of forewarning that we got for this. That's a whisper, by the way. I just can't do posh whisper. Well, I can, but it won't be that posh.
Sure. I get you. I get you.
Yeah, okay, you can go fuck yourself, Shannon. That's really not really funny, isn't it?
Okay, so
See, you really got to him there.
It's a deep cut.
Can I ask what's Keemishet's response to these words?
He's like there's a sense of like he was not expecting a grand pure generosity gesture from Ilehk, and in a sort of somewhat noble sense has this idea of a sort of like, yes, we will scratch your back and you will scratch ours sort of thing going on.
Okay.
And also I imagine his immediate response would be like, going into battle is, not actually that, like, it's a pretty low level actually exchange for saving people from a plague.
Sure. Okay. So you pass this forward to Sethnet. He listens. He pauses for a moment, and then he speaks. This was not discussed, wizards. We tried to send one of our number to you in Behel to request your aid. We had the understanding that you had come to fulfill that, and nothing more. You can understand my apprehension about committing my people to a cause that will kill them in exchange for saving them.
Ailey would like to say something quietly.
Sure, go ahead. Are you whispering it to someone?
To Keemishet, she says...
So if you're going to whisper to Keemishet, you're like more or less everyone's going to hear you, or Sethnet at least will hear you.
Okay. I'm not.
No, Keemishet is not next to you. Keemishet is behind Sethnet, and Sethnet is closer to you.
I would say that I would happily pass any psychic messages you need me to.
That's true. You can psychically communicate.
That would be useful. Then I will do that. I will instruct Keemishet to push Ilehk, ask for rewards, new land, somewhere better to live. He will fold. He needs you. But your people may accept this if they think they get what they deserve from this.
So, Keemishet, you hear this voice in your head, Carilia's voice, having taken it from Ailey. Although that is kind of responded to before Keemishet even has a really chance to react to this telepathic message. As Ilehk speaks, I want to be clear that I have discussed this matter with my companions here, and kind of looks over to Carilia. And although it is not mine to give, I am happy to commit myself to the aid in terms of shelter and food for the Oseth people. I have made arrangements to meet with someone tomorrow who, God's willing, will be here, and I can discuss the possibility of the Oseth habituating themselves within the city of Behel, where there is ample food from the Bekfi Flats. Your people do not need to go hungry. How does Kimashet say anything, having heard these words in their head, or do anything?
Well, I was going to lean forward and tell Sethnet to ask for that, but it now appears to have been offered. I will. Sorry, there's a plane. If you can hear, it's probably quite loud. Sorry.
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe this thing has better noise cancellation than I thought. So it's I'm going to lean forward and be like, Sethnet, that is everything we need. That is salvation from the two problems that plague us right now. Pardon the pun. That's it. I'm going with that.
Can you give me a persuasion check? And you do hear. What's up, Shannon?
You can finish your bit fast. I just wanted to throw something up.
You will hear Sethnet whisper under his breath, but at what cost? What did Kimashet get for his persuasion?
I'm just looking at my score. Oh, it's not high. 13.
13. Okay. Sethnet dwells upon your words for a moment. Ilehk didn't get great for his persuasion. Just checking my notes 1 sec. So I'm thinking through this as Sethnet. He pauses for a while. Harry, you see that a whisper passes forward through the person on your left. Rodham, she's this other elder here, and you can kind of you can see she leans forward to whisper in the ear of Sethnet as well. Are you going to try to listen in on this, or are you kind of?
Would I have to be sneaky to do it?
No, you can just give me a perception check to see if you can.
Yeah, I'm going to try and listen in.
Sure.
He's not going to do any like sneaky, snaky things.
Yeah, just give me a perception check.
Fucking hell. Sorry, I don't know what my perception score is either. No, it's +4. That still only makes it an 11.
You have an inspiration if you want to spend it, but on an 11, you're not going to hear a whisper.
No, I'm going to.
Okay, so you see this older Oseth woman leans forward to whisper in Sethnet's ear. Sethnet speaks and says, "There are some of our number who do not have as much faith in your magic as you do, wizard. We do not know that this is a cure. We do not know at what cost it will come. We have nothing to prove that you can benefit our people. The perception of you and your entourage," and Carillia and Ailey, you can give me insight checks here, has been one largely of suspicion. You bring animals you do not use into our midst while our people starve, and although it would not be my will, the hope among some has been that you would share these things. As such, and you can see that Sethnet is kind of torn, if anything, between 2 points. Anyway, what did insight did Carillia and Ailey get? 4.
22.
Oh, 22. Right.
13.
13. Okay. Carillia, you miss it, but Ailey, you see when Sethnet refers to Ilehk's companions. There is just a briefest moment of where his eyes flick over to Carillia, kind of with a certain amount of sadness, I would say. you catch this when no one else does, and you think that there is a. It does hurt Sethnet to say these words in light of Corellia being here, who is someone who came here and purely out of her own goodness offered very beneficial aid to these people. And you can kind of see from that Sethnet is essentially kind of conflicted. This seems like, on Chemoset's side, a tough but functional deal. But you've picked up that the kind of basically half the people here are opposed to your group. They are alienated from you. They don't trust you. They found some of your habits, your behaviour here to be insulting. And as such, that has created a well of distrust. And as such, they are apprehensive to take the initial risk of agreeing to this. I'm going to roll for Ilehk. Ilehk, ever someone who lacks tact, takes this moment to say, in terms of costs, it will be incredibly simple. I require from your number just one healthy Oseth. But not as some sacrifice unless something goes terribly awry. Someone to serve as the vessel for the cure. Someone who could be a savior unto these people. I think you can pretty much pick up that Ilehk thinks this is like totally rad, and like he's making a really great offer here. He's kind of asking to take one of their number and do something to them that they may not survive. And it does have a
Haley's
negative
mind
response.
is racing.
Sure, you can take
What
a
does she
moment to
know
think.
what does she know of their religion and culture? To
Give me a history check. And I'm going to say this on disadvantage because you are coming from Odrum. You're very, very estranged from Oseth people.
I rolled. That's a 10 on disadvantage.
I mean, you can look at the things here, and you can see that there is a certain kind of totemic appreciation for insects. As well, it's also carved into people's arms and so on. In terms of faith custom, you can see that because they put on this show, there is a maybe an obsession with decorum, kind of performance of performance would be the right word. They prize genuflection. They prize the formalities of respect and so on. Cool.
Is it focused on social hierarchy?
Yeah. Although, I mean, you can detect there's perhaps a bit of it. There is a level of breakdown in the social hierarchy because you've been here long enough. You don't think Sethnet was from the royal family or anything, or anywhere particularly close to the royals. You think he's mainly become defined through kind of charisma, practicality, those kind of things.
Crisis leadership.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As opposed to
This question's going to come a little bit late.
Sure.
But am I here?
You are here, Sam.
Okay.
Barney was
great,
sitting in
great.
here. Ailey was the last to come in. You are sitting here, as is Lola, as is Corellia, and Chemoset is on the other side behind Sethnet. The gang's all here.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna straight up lean forward to Sethnet
Sure.
and be like, if it's an Oseth he requires, then let it be me.
Give me a raw charisma check.
That's a 15 plus something. Plus not very much. Plus 1, 16.
Sethnet slightly breaks decorum and turns his head to kind of look at you at the corner of his eye. He has rigidly stared forward this entire time. I think most of you can detect there is a sadness to him. He turns to Ilehk. I do not want my people to fight and die for you for a war that does not involve us in any way. Is there anything that I can do to persuade you otherwise? Actually, I'm going to make an intelligence check for Ilehk, and he does very well. Ilehk speaks before any of you can. Perhaps I'm not explaining things well enough. The Rayfort army who marches upon Bear I imagine you don't know of them. They were here but a few weeks ago to discuss matters with Bear and part of their discussion involved the influencing of the Bear forces to guard against the likes of you, the Oseth. The Thippians see you as plague bearers, nothing more. Oh, hold on. We've lost Shannon, and now you've all switched. I think Shannon just refreshed because she can't hear Sam. Just wait. Oh, Shannon, are you back? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Sam, do you want to speak and see if Shannon can hear you?
Hello, Shannon. How are you?
Okay. Carry on, everyone.
Brilliant. All right. Sorry for the
Sorry.
inconvenience. We're working now. Okay. Sorry. Ilehk continues. Under the wrong impression. The Thippians see you as a pestilence, something to be gotten rid of. You think if they take the city of Bear that they will pass you by. That this isn't your war. You're incorrect. This is your one chance to fight for your own protection before the city of Bear falls and you find yourself coming down a mountainside to people who would happily just sweep you away. Working with Bear is your only chance to find a place in Alakvazi and to survive. Make no mistake. The cure is just one step towards your continued existence here. I was on a good intelligence check from Ilehk there. And these words do have sway upon the Oseth quorum here. I'm now going to make some intelligence checks for... Is there anything else anyone would like to add, or is Sethnet going to just have a bit of thinking?
I have several questions.
What's
I just
up?
didn't know when to jump in, so I've stored them all up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Shannon. Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Well, the first one is, so I don't really know about, like big city wars, but I do come from like a kind of warrior tribe. So, do I have any idea of how many people Oseth could potentially lose in this? Like a worst case scenario, how many people are going down?
Give me a very high DC history check on disadvantage, because this is so abstract from your circumstances and background.
Okay. That's a 0. I got a 0.
So yeah, you've got no clue, I'm afraid.
That's annoying. If it wasn't on disadvantage, I would have got a 15. But okay. Second question is, what have I understood about what exactly this ritual healing is? Ilehk hasn't told me, but have I picked anything up?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, no clue again. You have done what Ilehk bade you. You can understand things in terms of, your psychic ability, but you aren't sure what Ilehk intends to. You have a very, very limited understanding of the kind of magic that Ilehk works.
I have, at some point during this conference, asked Ailey.
Asked Ailey.
Asked Harry.
I mean, you can speak to her
In my
telepathically
head,
if you want.
knows.
Yeah, I mean, this does mean Ailey's hearing 2 conversations at once, but yeah, you can try. You can't fit that much in a telepathic message, I don't think, but you can ask, yeah, sure.
What was the question?
Oh no, I think I've got limitless words. It's not the same as that.
Okay, go ahead.
Spell.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. All right.
What was the question?
Have you any idea what exactly this ritual is?
Grace, do you want to give me an Arcana
I
check?
haven't a clue.
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh, I'll definitely try, but oh, that's a 15. I might have a chance on a 15.
Tragically not. This is way beyond your magical knowledge.
Yeah.
In terms of what Ilehk has shown you, has barely scraped the surface, and this is some deep magic. He is doing stuff that's. I mean, you don't know this, but you can probably gauge that this is stuff the product of decades of study. and learning of magic. So yeah.
So I think Ailey is going to make an in-character guess. She's going to say he may make of his token a being like the sleepers, but to share healing among his people. That is my best guess, though it is pure conjecture.
So that answers all your questions. Do you have any? Is there anything you do in this discussion based on these answers, or am I going to move ahead, given that Seth has had a chance to mull things over?
Can I?
I think I wanted. Oh, you go.
Yeah. Can I lean forward to Sethnet and be like, it would seem that our choice is between throwing ourselves upon the mercy of an oncoming army, or healing our plague, helping this man, and receiving a new home. I don't believe that is even a choice at all.
Sure. Give me one last persuasion check.
Nice posh whisper.
15. What, Sam? What was that? 15.
He said nice posh whisper. It was
He's
great.
praising you, mate. Don't lash out at him. So what did you get? You got a 15.
Sorry, I've got a 15, but I just like to say, Sam, I've been burned so many times by your mean comments that I obviously react with hostility. All right, I'm sorry.
Anyway, okay. Right. So Sethnet has mulled things over. There is a full kind of 2 minutes where he just sits there thinking to himself. Finally, he speaks. Very well, wizard. You have an agreement. We will take your cure, and in exchange we will aid you in the defense of Behel. But, to be clear, in exchange for housing within the city, food to feed us all, and I want a few more things. I want this ritual to begin tonight. There are those who will not make it through the night unless there is a cure to help them on their way. And I would not see them pass, just merely so that you can rest your eyes. You are fit enough to have a discussion here. You're fit enough to do your work.
My level of exhaustion affect this ritual at all?
Who knows? If you have to make skill checks, then yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to stand up and say something, please.
You're going to, but to be clear, everyone is sitting here. You're going to specifically stand up.
That Carilia's not very
Howling.
socially.
Sure. Carilia leaps to her feet. Everyone kind of bristles at the breakage of decorum here. What does Carilia say?
Liam, what would the punishment be for standing up during one of these?
The sentence is death. Knight stands up and just fully lops. No, of course. No one does anything, but yeah, we'll see what Carilia says first. I mean, no one's had a chance to react yet, so.
I just having a level of exhaustion have a physical effect on me. Do I look physically shit?
No, I mean you are tired, but the mechanical.
Do I look awful?
No, you're only on one level of exhaustion. It goes up to 6, and I think at 6 you have a heart attack. So you only look 1/6 as tired as someone who would die from a heart attack.
Is it one of those things where like
That's
it's
not-
comparable to a day of forced march or missing a night of sleep?
Yeah. You look like you're lacking sleep, basically, but not much. Just
Okay.
a bit.
I got some hollows.
Yeah.
Right.
Some bags under the eyes, but you know.
I think, even though I don't really understand social etiquette, I can definitely feel the hostility in the room. And I awkwardly go into kind of a crouch. And I say,
I whisper, bow,
Sethnet,
bow.
Sethnet. And now I'm just addressing the floor. You know that I don't. That wasn't my accent even a little. You know that I don't want anyone to. I'm going to speak in English because I lost it. Anyone to die. I was here to cure the plague with no hope to gain anything, but I fear that if we begin the ritual tonight, it won't succeed at all and we won't be able to save anyone. I don't feel like I'm in the best position to work any magic tonight. We could do it if you think that's what's best, but I think it will come at a great cost.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. 13. Not getting very
13.
good rolls today.
Sethnet says, you should seat yourself, Kurilia. This is not our way.
I do so.
You fear that if we do it tonight, then there will be the possibility of failure. I know if we do not do it tonight, there will be people of my community who die. So I thank you for your words and your passion, but this is my
Is that
decision.
enough to risk the possibility of not curing anyone?
He looks to Ilehk. Well, wizard, is it repeatable? Ilehk kind of looks at Kurilia. It's not. I mean, it's certainly possible. Yes, it would set us back, but it's not. It's not necessarily a one-time thing. And Seth kind of mulls these things over based on your persuasion. He goes, "We will do it tonight, and I shall be the one who is used by your magic. I shall be a part of it. I'm tired of.
I love him.
You can say that if you want. I am tired of my people. Oh, hold on. Oh God, we just lost someone. We lost Sam. Oh no, Sam.
It's all going wrong.
It's all going wrong
we're all
now.
gonna die.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, we've got you back. You can hear us now, Sam? All right, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sethnet stands up. This quorum is over. I am tired of seeing my fellow people die. I would like me to be the last sacrifice, if there is anything. Perhaps, Kurilia, you will think back to seeing the kind of the heaviness, the tiredness that weighs upon Sethnet these past few days. Ailey, you can give me a last insight check if you want as well.
With a 14, I got 21.
21.
on my insight check.
You look at Sethnet and you think there's perhaps a slight degree of a kind of just nudging up against a kind of a level of suicidal depression on this person. It is something that has been like pushed way the fuck down for a while, but this is kind of you think that Ilehk has presented a point where basically, regardless of the outcome, Sethnet gets what he wants. He gets an out, or he gets a cure.
Yeah. Like in plague, in a world of plague and war, he's like, well, kill me or cure me, but let's have an end.
Yeah.
Cool.
He stands up.
Can I say one last thing in the forum?
I mean, you've broken the decorum once. You can certainly do it again. What does Kurilia say?
I want to address the room here, so not necessarily Sethnet. And I want to say, I apologize if we haven't made the best impression, because I think when I went to see, it's harder to know when Shannon's speaking and when Kurilia's speaking when I don't do the accent. I think when I went around the camp the other day, I saw that people weren't really so happy with us. So I say, I know that we haven't made the best impression, but this is because all of our efforts are being driven into finding a cure. We are mentally and physically exhausted. We meant no offense, and we hope once we cure your people of this plague.
Can you give me a persuasion check? And sorry, I've completely because you have one level of exhaustion, your skill checks are on disadvantage. So you should have done disadvantage previously. I forgot. That's my fault.
Yeah, sorry.
But this is on disadvantage.
Okay.
As she does this, can I scan the audience?
Give me a insight check, Harry.
Yeah.
What do you get, Shannon?
Yeah, okay. I don't think he's inciting anything today.
Sure.
Yeah, he got a 9.
Got a 9. Okay. Yeah, you're kind of just more like your mind is just mostly occupied by the idea that Sethnet might have just decided to sacrifice himself, which would remove the kind of core of the leadership here in Osiro. Sorry, what did Shannon? What did Carillia get?
11.
11. Yeah, they mainly ignore your words as people get up and begin to leave. Ilehk stands up. Very well, very well. We can work tonight. Ailey and Carillia, I will need you by my side as well as you, Lola. And people begin to leave this place. Kimashet. What's up, Sam?
Sorry, as we're walking out, could I just say to Ilehk, just like, if he, yeah, hello, if he unfortunately doesn't make it, what happens to your plan?
He kind of under his breath talking to you. You have to kind of lower your head a bit to come to his level. If he doesn't survive, it does not matter, at least for the cure. And my understanding is the Oseth are people who make gripe and moan, but they have honor. If he has decided this, they will follow through after they have their cure. Even if Sethnet is not amongst them, and they will have their cure.
If it kills him, Ilehk, they will kill us.
I don't think so. I think they will uphold the words of their leader after death, more so than when he is alive. That much, I believe. And if not, we then are at liberty to make our way out of here.
Ilehk is a moron.
This kills him.
I'm filled with your confidence.
He draws in close. You may notice that my tent, they have been largely avoiding it, and it's on the furthest side of this community. If they start coming for us in droves, we've got a clear stretch of mountainside to run down. Oh, sorry, my keyboard just went dead. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry, that's fixed. Sorry. We've got a nice stretch of mountainsides to run down to the city of Gnur, who will surely give me hospitality as a wizard, and it's not hard to cut your way out the back of a tent. And I'm sure they'll busy themselves with my curios and such when they storm the tent. Don't worry, I've got a plan.
They have at least eaten all their hairy lizards. They may struggle to pursue us. Mounted, at least.
That is true. They may distract themselves eating our beasts of burden. Do you think we should give them the animals? I mean, I know Barnlek likes animals, so I'm conflicted.
It's a little late, Ilehk, for a bribe of that scale.
Well, I don't know. A cure and a dinner, it might be... No?
Will
Okay.
a young Oseth have a better chance of living through it?
Age, I do not believe should be a concern. Unless they were, like, really old.
Really old?
Sethnet's not really old.
Sorry, that's not in character.
Really old. I mean, you think he means like 70 years old or something, which like almost no one here is. Sethnet is in his kind of late 30s.
Is he a good choice?
He's as fit as any choice, and he has drive. That's something that helps more than people think.
Okay.
Did I hear him mention about killing the animals?
Give me a perception check.
All right, here we go. It's a nat 20.
It's a nat 20. You do overhear this.
Yes, this is what's going to be the thing that fucks us, isn't it? You're going to get in a fight with him about goddamn lizards.
You hear Ilehk considers slaughtering the animals to feed the community here. You can understand the logic of this point, but, perhaps not the sentiment. Does Barney do anything?
Hello, Ilehk. I could not help but overhear.
Your camel head comes over his,
just peeks through. My body's there, but my head is.
Barney, I was having a conversation with Ailey. Please, God,
Yeah, I could not help but overhear that you were thinking about getting rid of our hairy lizards.
I'm not getting rid of them. You've got a hairy lizard and you've got 2 camels, which I gave you, by the way. That's my hairy lizard.
Yeah,
He has a name.
I'm aware of that, and I am completely happy to do whatever is good for the good of the group and the good of the war. I just think, how will we get back?
Well, Behel is only half a day's walk, Barney. I mean, literally, I'm pointing to it right now. We are outside. I'm pointing to it. You can see it. It's not that far away.
Okay, well, yeah. Let me say goodbye to them if you do decide, and then we'll get rid of them.
Don't worry, Barney. I mean, you'll have a chance. If anyone here is going to be slaughtering animals, it's probably going to be you. I mean, you've got the most knowledge about it. Anyway.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it before. Like, I'm having this conversation. Tears are building up behind my eyes, and I just turn away and walk off. But like, just
Harry, can you give me a perception check as Chemishet, please? And I will say, all of you exiting Sethnet's abode, you can see there are a number of Oseth who are still awake around. There's still colour to the sky, even though it's late. And all of them are kind of eyeing you suspiciously, wondering what's going on, so on.
Sorry, I got it wrong. My perception's +4, not +1. So that is 11.
11. Okay.
Right. Also, before anyone goes, can I speak to Sethnet? Sorry, I was going to say this way earlier.
You're walking with Sethnet. He's kind of coming out. We haven't really resolved things, but he's coming out of this place. You absolutely have a chance to talk to him. I will say, as you go out, you do look around. You don't hear what they're saying, but you do see Rodum, the elder, is talking with Basuk, you might recall previously, who was one of the knights there, sitting beside Sethnet. Yeah, that's just something you notice. Sorry, what is it you want to say to Sethnet if you kind of run up to him as the second he leaves to talk to him?
Yeah, I'm going to Sethnet. If anything should happen to you, it is a great gesture, you offering yourself. But if anything should happen to you, we would be a people rudderless, drifting across the desert. You have given us purpose, and I don't think anyone here can continue that work. This is why I offered myself.
Do not sell yourself short, Chemishet. I thank you for your words, but the Oseth people are strong not because of their leaders, but because of their traditions. If I should fall, tradition will prevail, and a new leader will be decided amongst the elders to determine our way.
Yeah, I'm a member of the nobility. I'm going to buy that incredibly weak argument, 100%.
Well, okay.
No, the system works. Tradition will sort it all out.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have anything to believe otherwise. You literally came out of a mud hut where they still carried on a traditional ritualistic form of meeting with delegates and kind of visitors, despite being in a mud hut and not the kind of palatial setting that it would normally happen in. You yourself have been set to kind of practicing your sword techniques and so on. Tradition does exist here. It is not. Not an absence.
No. That's why I'm completely sold.
But I'm just saying that your character may not have blinders on necessarily. It may be true that tradition actually has some weight here. I'm just saying.
Okay. Also, can I the Basalt or whatever he was called?
Basuk was the other knight who was very suspicious of Ilehk.
The troublemaker last time, so I'm going to be very suspicious of the little gathering going on in the tent.
Sure. This is
how many people was it? Really roughly.
So everyone's come outside. You've seen. It's just the elder Rodum has come and spoken to Basuk, who was one of the knights there, specifically as a knight flanking Sethnet. They are talking. You can't hear what they're saying, but you can see they have kind of both come together and spoken to each other.
Okay, I'm just going to try and not let them out of my sight.
Absolutely.
Is that going to be possible?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on your word, speaking to Sethnet, he will add, stay close by me, Chemishet. I know you as a loyal person, and I would hope that you would ensure that There are no disturbances in this matter of the wizard casting their spell. I fear that some amongst us may have good intentions misplaced. But the elders will honour my words.
I nod my head sorrowfully.
Right, cool. So if anyone's doing anything else, Ilehk?
I want to talk to Sethnet.
Sure, okay. So do you back away from Ilehk and go back to talk to Sethnet? There's a kind of partition between your group and the Oseth, but yeah, you can go back there if you want.
Is he surrounded by people? Is it possible?
Yeah, there's
to
a
get
few people
private
around
word
him.
with
I mean, there's a few elders who are kind of nipping at his heels, trying to convince him otherwise. You know, get someone else to do this, or don't do this ritual; it will lead us astray. There's a few of those.
Can I give him a look that's like, I need to talk to you alone?
Okay, I'm going to have him. You give me just raw charisma. He's going to make an insight. It doesn't matter. He got a 2. He doesn't notice.
Well, I mean, I got a 4.
Yeah. It's like oh god, what's that film where Bill Gates gets not Bill Gates, Jesus. Oh god, what's he called? You know, the guy gets possessed by death, but there's the scene in the start where before he gets hit by a taxi, the two keep looking back at each other. This is terrible.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black. That's the film. Sorry, I don't know why I thought Joe Black became Bill Gates in my head. Sorry. Yeah, you have the Meet Joe Black scene where you keep looking at each other, and each time both of you is looking a different way.
I'm imagining like I kind of futilely reach for his sleeve and miss.
Yeah.
I don't even manage to touch him.
Yeah, well, you turn back and, you know, you haven't got great depth perception, so you kind of paw at the air even though you're like 10 meters away. Everyone misses this entirely. Anyway.
Well, shit.
Sethnet turns to the elders. Gather those who are awake. I am going to explain matters to them before we begin this, so there is no lack of understanding here. Kimachet, you should go see that your household is here as well. At this point, I mean, assuming Kimachet has some. I can't remember, Harry. Does Kimachet have any relatives here at all?
No, they're all missing or dead.
That's your immediate
What
family.
an insult.
Immediate
What a
family. Are
kick
you
in
out
the
of relatives
balls.
here? I mean, Sethnet has a few relatives here. Regardless, the Oseth quorum disperses and goes out into Osiro to find those who are, you know, awake and fit and healthy enough to come to this kind of this clearing, this stretch. It's where you first saw Kimachet, this bit where the mountain slopes up a bit and this almost tree of the blood of Os comes and kind of fractally spreads out and grows its fungal branches. And beneath that tree, Sethnet stands kind of alone in the darkening evening, waiting for the Oseth people to gather.
Can I speak to him here?
Absolutely, yeah, he is alone, so you can approach him to speak if you want.
Okay. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say to him, in fact, I'm going to say, you cast yourself into the fire, Oseth.
I'm not in the mood for poetry. Is there something you wish to say, monk?
I wonder if you know yourself. Are you doing this to fight, or are you doing this as a way to end fighting?
He's going to insight himself and fail. I'll do what's necessary to take care of my people.
If you lay down on that table and die, it might be the end of your people's chances.
Your wizard assures me that the person who serves as this vessel, as he said, will be the cure regardless of whether they endure the process. So, perhaps I trust in the word of your wizard more than you do.
I want your cure to be a living man.
As do I.
And you should too.
But I want my people cured first. The living part is secondary to that.
I only hope you have the bones.
That's
I-
a bit of Oseth humour. Does Ailey walk away, or are you just there? Or
Well, if he replies,
uh,
I think Ailey has a habit of, like cats do, just kind of staring at people with big eyes and being like,
where are you from, monk? Where are your people?
my people are hill folk, but I was raised in the temple fortress of Dwer Inish in the south.
And having been raised there, been given a shelter there, having been made a home with your people within, would you not do what you could to protect it? If Ailey just pauses, he will just say, perhaps things are different in Dwer Inish, but the Oseth have their own way of confronting these problems.
Ailey says, she says, there is a cause for which I would risk all and set anything on the pyre. But I wouldn't just lie down and let it out of my hands to rest. Be sure you are not the second type.
I thank you for your words. Perhaps you should tend to the wizard and take care of your own side of this exchange.
I wish you the best of luck.
Very well, thank you. Ailey walks away. Ilehk is standing by the entrance. Can I ask? He wants Carillia and Lola and Ailey to join him, but what's Barnelek doing currently, Sam? You can join him here, but
yeah. So I was basically just following Ilehk and the gang. Basically, I was just going to offer my services where useful, essentially.
Sure. I mean, you can approach Ilehk and say as such.
Yeah.
I mean, he will be like, I'm gonna roll for. Perhaps you'd be best staying out here, Barney, and just making sure we're not disturbed during the process.
Absolutely.
Actually, I realise you left the animals unattended. I'm going to roll some dice for them. They have not been touched.
I knew that.
Kimachet's striking of one of the people who wanted to take them before seems to have held people fast against taking the animals. As of yet. Anyway.
Barney, why don't you go and try to make good with some of the people here?
I've already done that. We got on really well.
Good job.
Yeah, they seem to really, they seem to really like. We've had some good conversations. They seem like lovely people. Sad. It's sad. It's very sad, this situation. But I spent all day doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say at this point that so the Oseth is starting to come out, gathering beneath where Sethnet is standing. Maybe a few go past and go, "Hey, Barney,"
Finger guns.
Yeah, you finger gun. Even though you don't know what guns are, you finger gun each other.
Well, just one hand.
Yeah. Oh, blimey, someone's got an alarm going off. Anyway, eventually a large congregation, I mean, there's a lot of people here, hundreds of Oseth are gathered. You can see that a lot of them are kind of staying away from Ilehk's tent, which isn't too far from this point. Yeah, I mean, some of them are kind of comfortable around Barney. Have Carillia and Ailey gone inside the tent, can I ask?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll get to what's in there in a second. Actually, I think I'll do that now. It's more fun. Anyway, so I've written a description. So you enter inside.
I would like to get a glass of water. Is there a good time for that?
This is Grace or Ailey who wants to get a glass of water.
No, me. I would like to leave the.
Go grab a glass of
For a
water. I'm
second.
going to do what Sethnet
Cool.
says to the Oseth. Sethnet stands above them. The strange red branching trees of the blood of Os behind him. The night sky similarly red. He speaks. My people, the wizard Ilehk has been amongst us for a while now. Only a few days, but he has worked laboriously to bring a cure to our people. He is now capable of producing that cure. And I shall be volunteering myself to aid in its creation this night, in the hopes that I can bring your loved ones who are sick the cure as soon as possible. I will say, of course, that those who are in the kind of the almost quarantined plague area have not come out to join Sethnet. This cure comes with an unfortunate new burden for our people. Many of you have seen them. All of you will have heard of them now. The 7 feather-plumed banners that come westward towards the city of Behel. I have learnt that this is an army who does not have a favourable view of our people, and that unless we align ourselves with Behel, we may face harder times than we have ever before since we came to this land. But this does not come at only a terrible new burden. At the same time, a new opportunity opens itself to our people. I am told that the wizards of Behel are able to offer us soon domicile and food to fill ourselves within the city itself. All they ask if we were to become one of their people is that we serve as their people. We fight alongside them in this coming conflict. I know that the Oseth people are ones who will honour tradition, and as your current chosen leader, I know that all of you will honour my wishes in the days to come if I myself cannot be there alongside you to fight. It's a bit of an awkward speech. Sethnet himself is not much of a kind of wordsmith when it comes to talking, to hundreds of assembled people. The people in the crowd do, react. There are kind of gasps, moments of anger, these kind of things. But that's kind of at the same time counteracted by the positive messages that they soon will have food, they soon will have shelter, and most importantly, they soon will be cured of the Shale Plague. The curse of the Shale Plague will be lifted. And as such, the people find themselves in off balance. They're not sure whether to be angry or happy in this moment, and as such, they are just quiet. Perhaps stunned, perhaps just kind of resolute and accepting of what's been told to them. Sethnet finishes, and now I must come into the wizard Ilehk's tent and work with him to bring a cure. In my absence, you understand, the succession of eldership will pass on. You will not be without leaders to guide you through these trying times. And you can see enough people in the crowd are kind of getting the inference that Sethnet may not come out of this, and there are there are cries of worry and anguish and distress. But no one...
Anguish.
Shut up.
Stress.
Oh, okay, great, you got me. Sethnet walks down from his perch towards Ilehk's tent, and the crowd kind of As he passes through it, some of them reach out to kind of put their hands upon his shoulders, thank him for what he's about to do. Barney, you're outside. You've kind of watched this from the back of this crowd. And Sethnet walks into the tent. So, Harry, you've been keeping an eye on Rodum and Basuk. Actually, I think at this point we're gonna go to break, actually, because I'm getting people messaging me. But yeah, Harry will get on with what you've been noticing. Ailey, Carillia will get on with what you've seen inside the tent, and the ritual shall begin. After the break, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So those watching, stick around. See you in a bit. Go. And we're back, and everyone's in their right place. Brilliant. So, where we left off, Sethnet had just given his speech to his people, heading towards the tent. Meanwhile, Carillia and Ailey have already gone inside. Actually, Harry, I did say I was going to get to you first on... you've been keeping an eye on Rodum and Basuk. You can see that as Sethnet is departing, they are beginning to essentially gather people. You don't... I mean, look at them. It's not like they're all tooling up to just have a sudden hostile takeover, but there is... you can see there's a contingent here of people who do not like what is happening. And a number of them are the people who kind of try to kind of, clasp Sethnet and say, stop, don't do this on the way. And he has to kind of like, remove their hands and keep on walking.
How many people are we talking?
I mean, it's a kind of, it's a mob, so it's not so, it's not a, it's not a unit, it's not a partitioned group. It's they are more trying to sway public opinion. So in terms of people, it's Rodum, it's Basuk are the people who are kind of driving this, and then they are gathering people around them. Those numbers can change based on perception of, the social circumstance.
All right. Okay. And how? So we're at the tent now. I'm outside it, I assume.
If you've gone alongside Sethnet, I mean, he didn't ask you to kind of stand by him or anything, but he did ask to make sure that no one.
I've taken it upon myself to guard the tent.
Sure.
Okay. I think. I'm going to stand like squarely in the doorway and just continue keeping an eye on them.
Sure thing. I mean, I think you kind of move in as some people are kind of coming up behind Sethnet and trying to, dissuade him as he's reaching the very, entrance of the tent. You are kind of, you kind of quickly come in to stand in front of them and, put a hand on their, chest. I mean, I think there's, what's Kemoset feeling here, actually, I should ask, rather than, oh, we've lost someone. I think
he's feeling
lost
worried
Sam
about
again.
the fact that Sam just disappeared. And he's back.
Oh, sorry about this, anyone who's watching. Oh.
How dare I? I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're right, Sam. We've got you back now. All right, brilliant. Cool. Okay, so, yeah, sorry. What's Kemoset feeling right now?
So, like, he's worried about just the sort of practicality of a Sethnet-free Oseth. But in terms of towards what Sethnet is actually doing, this whole noble sacrifice probably charmed pretty nicely with his sort of rather obnoxious sort of chivalric impulse. It would. That's why he volunteered, etc., as well, because he sees things like this as opportunities for heroism.
I get you. Okay, cool. Sure. Anyway, Ailey and Carillia, you have both gone into this tent a few moments ago. I mean, Ilehk kind of basically went straight in here and began preparing. I mean, he kind of prepared some things already, but he's begun properly setting up once they left this place. And there's been, let's say, 20 minutes since your meeting with the quorum ended, and Sethnet gathered everyone and gave this, talk. So, Grace and Shannon, here's what your characters see as you go inside Ilehk's tent. Grace, you good? Yeah. Cool. So,
I just had a late night Amazon delivery.
I see.
Ooh.
So, the magic orb seen previously has continued its perennial emission of chilling mist, and you sharply inhale at the deathly cold air as it hits you upon entry to the tent. All clutter has been pushed to the edges of this round tent, and in the clearing formed, lines have been carved in the dirt, and upon placed slates marking out a circular diagram containing formula in an arcane language. The sleepers have been arranged to be evenly spaced within this magic circle, their crowns pointed towards the centre, where the Oseth corpse you and Ilehk have worked upon these past days has been bound against the pole that supports the tent top. Held upright. Strange, sinister wires and tubing snake amongst its greying entrails and spread out to insert themselves in the surrounding devices and the sleepers too. Like twisted roots, they dig into their lively flesh, and you shudder to think what it is these wires drink therein. A device containing a series of 3 vials is suspended by a cord at the centre of the tent, from which descend 2 capillaries tipped with fine chrome needles. One is inserted into the top of the corpse's spine. The other hangs loose. There is a clear absence in the composition of this magic circle. A clearing next to the Oseth corpse, surrounded by unattached cables, where you realise another living Oseth must similarly sit. Held in a meditative pose, this arcane tubing coming from its gut, the Oseth corpse briefly reminds you of the desiccated monks you saw within the ruins of Aban before you are distracted by the matter at hand. Sethnet enters, immediately shocked by the morbid tableau before him and the icy chill in the air. A look of revulsion and anger crosses his face to see the Oseth corpse afflicted by Ilehk's magic, but this is quickly replaced with a nervous resolution. His gaze for a moment moves over to Carillia, looking for some kind of certainty here. Shannon, does Carillia do anything?
There were things she wanted to do and say, and now she's in the tent and she's seeing all this stuff. I think she's just kind of stunned into silence.
Okay. I mean, do you meet his gaze? He looks to you for, like, you know, is this wrong? Is this right? For kind of validation, if anything. You can just say you meet that gaze and return it.
I'm kind of angry at him, so I meet his gaze with like a stony little stare.
Okay, all right. Ilehk directs.
Is it dark in this tent?
It is lit. There are basically candles, and there will be a kind of white, milky coloured object that casts some illumination here as well. This orb.
Are there shadows?
There are shadows here. Yes, it's not full of light. I mean, it's fairly dim.
Ailey is going to prowl the edge of the tent, but as she moves past our subject, she mutters, "Strength, old man, and courage."
Okay, sure. You go around, you go up to some of these curios that are placed aside. You slowly bat them off the edge, watch as they fall onto the floor and break. No. Ilehk directs Sethnet to sit with his back against the Oseth corpse. As he moves, Sethnet places a hand on the shoulder of the corpse as he's lowering himself. This fleeting touch betraying some familiarity, you think, before he fully sees himself. Ilehk brings Sethnet's palms together as if in prayer, and wiring is coiled around his arms and joined hands. Sethnet kind of looks up around, uncertain as to the purpose of this ritualistic bondage, but Ilehk just softly turns his head to be forward and lowered, like that of the corpse, and taking the loose needle suspended from the 3 vial containing device, slips that thin line of chrome into the base of Sethnet's neck. Sethnet does not seem to notice this. Now, all the strange wires and tubes have formed a complete circuit, an inscrutable knot whose magic designs are comprehensible only to the increasingly possessed gaze of Ilehk, who, intoxicated by his labours, works silently for a moment, adjusting various devices before he speaks to you three. Sorry, Lola is here with you as well. This entire process is not going to take long, perhaps until this colour has the colour has faded from the sky, which to you will mean about 20 minutes. But it will be laborious, for me at least. My spell and I must not be disturbed in this time, or the magic could fall into disarray. Corellia, Lola, Ailey, I stay here in case I need to call upon you at important moments. Is everyone ready?
Ailey holds up a hand and she says,
Yes, Ailey, you've got a question.
What? No, she holds up a hand like this, and then she just goes out the tent.
Goes
and
out
she
the tent.
finds
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, she finds Barney and Kimisha, and she says,
Hello!
no one enters. Understand me? No one touches the tent. The ritual is fragile. And then she goes back inside.
Oh. I hope it goes well. Is there anything I can do luck-wise there? Or do I have to see it?
It has to be something that is going to kind of immediately impact you, where your golden path rolls will apply.
Okay.
And given right now you could just walk off into the night, you're a bit estranged from it, I'm afraid.
All right, no worries.
Yeah.
That was worth asking then.
So
remember what happened last time we were just you and me, Harry? How well that went? Look forward to that happening again.
So,
Someone summon
Can I do some things?
Shannon, what's up?
I've got several things, please.
Grace, I think we can
first
hear
off,
your
one
keyboard. Sorry.
question.
What's up?
Shit, sorry.
That's fine.
So magic fingers, my exhaustion.
Yes.
Could I perhaps go out and sap from something living to
There's not much living.
practice
You're on a
exhaustion
mountainside.
without killing them?
Bearing in mind the people here are starving. There is
We
a
have
lack of vegetation.
we have camels, we have a lizard, we have one camel man.
Okay.
We've got the sleepers.
I would.
Oh boy.
Okay, if you want to vampiric touch something to death, I would.
No,
Consider...
not it didn't say to death.
Yeah, but this is to remove one level of exhaustion because vampiric touch just gives you hit points back. I assume that's what you want to use, right?
I don't have anything with vampiric touch, but sure.
I mean, that's the spell you have that regains you some energy. I would say you have to kill something to remove a level of exhaustion here. It's not a perfect process. It's not like
yeah.
You're gonna do that.
I have siphoning touch. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, isn't that what I said? Oh, sorry, did I say vampiric touch? Yeah, sorry, you have siphoning touch, which is slightly different. Yeah.
Now, screw it. Yeah, I would like to go out of the tent, and there's not many people around, are there?
Corellia, give me an intelligence check.
Oh, okay. That's not my strong suit. But I'll definitely try. I'm on a disadvantage, right?
Yes, it would be. Oh God. Ailey, you can give it an insight as well. I think actually here.
That's 1 whole 8 for me.
1 whole 8. You get the strange sense that this might be done, but you can't figure out why.
18.
18. You see Corellia has a kind of like, I'm pooped, and then kind of goes out with a slight, I would say, look of madness to her. You think that she might be out
doing this,
about to do something a bit feckless, to say the least.
I slip out after her and I say, what do you need?
Oh, blood.
What will it take?
Or blood.
How much blood?
This-
The blood.
All of it?
The start of your saying camel blood is being cut off, so it just sounds like you're saying blood to every question.
Yeah, you keep being like blood.
Blood.
Are you
okay.
outside of the tent right now, looking at us?
Yeah, Barney, you are in front of these animals, and Corellia has started walking up to one of these camels with a clearly some kind of intent upon them.
Eager look in my
I
eye.
would say that Ailey is intelligent and
Slap,
scrutinizing
slap.
enough to kind of do the maths that if the creepy kind of magic lady Corellia comes out and just like full on sucks the meat from the bones of one of these animals in front of all these gathered people who are starving, you might incite a riot or something. Like this would be the kind of
So sucking it dry would physically suck it dry.
yeah, you literally siphon the life
just
from
want
it.
its
So like
energy.
you can't suck the life out of
Okay.
something and then eat it and get more. Like you would take all of the nutrients from this thing. So
Goodness.
yeah, I think Ailey can do the maths that this would be perhaps a little reckless in the circumstances.
I think Ailey won't say you shouldn't do this. She'll say, if you do this in front of them, they will call us demons. Come inside, feast on a sleeper. They are rich with what you can eat.
Hi guys,
Taking it.
I could not help but overhear your conversation, and I heard a lot of. I saw a lot of twiddly fingers and lust for camel blood. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your lives, but just maybe refrain from siphoning the life from the camel. Just if we can take it from a sleeper, that would be cool. Okay, bye. Just back into the
yeah,
Sam,
All
I'm-
you
at
assessments
this
from a
point-
little cup.
Sam, I'm gonna give you inspiration for the tell you how to live your lives because that's
Nice.
perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, chef's kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I presume I have now heard this as well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm going to
this Ailey and
Give us a
Corellia have
poem.
had to. Ailey has bumped past you once to come out and speak to you and Barney, and then has gone back in, and then her companion has come out with her, and both have like knocked you coming out of this place, given you're standing directly in the entrance.
I'm going to, explain. I'm not going to do this at length. Explain in the most clear terms possible that there are people are worried and scared, and that they shouldn't be doing anything stupid.
Like siphoning camel
Ilehk
blood.
do have fancy little ideas. Fine.
I think you should do them. I think you should do it. I think the sleepers have more.
I'm worried if I take it from the sleepers and the ritual will fail.
Ilehk said, "Are we ready to begin?" And literally, like, Ailey walked out, came back in, and then two of them walked out. It's like, I mean, he's
you
just
shouldn't
there, kind of, like
have said
staring.
that.
He's just like staring at Sethna and Lona and be like,
I thought it was like, when you're about to start a really important mission in a game and it's like, go do all the other shit you want to do first. Go do your side quests because you can't go back. So I'm doing
Alright,
my
okay.
side quests.
I think, I mean, unless Corellia wants to push through on this, I think you understand this would be a bad idea.
Executive decision. I'm bringing a camel into the tent.
It's not going to fit in the tent. It's a long, tall camel.
Ah.
You want to?
I'm not doing that then. Fine. We'll fail the fucking ritual, guys.
To be clear, you may not at any point be called upon to make a skill check. I just want to be clear. Like I haven't said as
Why
such.
am I here?
I don't know. Who knows?
You gave me exhaustion so it would fail. I know how you play.
I think Ailey is actually going to push for you to train a sleeper.
Are you in the
She
tent
thinks
talking about this?
Say again?
Are you in the tent talking about this?
Depending on how the events go, if Corellia is coming inside, I mean, will it?
Why don't we summon a demon?
Listen, there's always the backup plan. If anything else goes wrong, I mean,
I'm
it's so
stressed.
cool, Corellia. But if you want to be, do you want to be strong? These
Don't want
creatures are
Not to
full.
die.
I saw that man get run through, and there's no mark on him. I point to the corpse. I mean, they got wounded in the thing, didn't
Yeah,
they?
you saw.
They got acid
You
blood.
saw
It was
the
acid
the
blood.
acid
Whatever.
the spewed acid of that strange mutant fly thing spray upon them, and their flesh kind of melted away, and they just regenerated immediately, immaculately.
Can you run this by Ilehk, please?
I think,
Absolutely not.
Okay.
weren't they still connected when that happened, though?
Shall we say that you're inside the tent, Alien Career, discussing this?
Oh,
or are
okay,
you gonna be
sorry,
standing
sorry.
outside or not? I think Ilehk is going to be like at some point catch wind of what you're doing and go, no, Career, that is fucking stupid. You're a bit tired. Buck up, all right? Come on. I mean, this is seriously like impressive magic. I've worked my fucking ass off here, and you're like, oh, maybe I should kill a camel in front of starving people for fun. Come on. You want to get your head in the game, all right?
You were like, maybe
If
we
there
should
was
starving
something
people
not
to
to do
die in your war, you dick. I say that to him in Corellia's voice.
Oh no! Oh no! We
Anyway,
were
look.
doing so well.
If Ilehk wants us to not do it, it must be the right thing to do.
Look, I understand your concerns, Corellia. You're going to have to just bolster yourself here. I'm going to make a nature roll for Lola. She's going to hold out a few leaves and say, Corellia, it's not so good to use too often, but if you chew on these, you have energy for a while. You will be more tired
Bloody
later,
drugs,
though.
baby.
You will be more tired later if you chew these now, but maybe it can help.
Chomp chomp.
Okay. Can you just give me it's a very low DC, but can you give me a Constitution saving throw? This isn't on disadvantage. She might automatically pass this, actually, based on her modifier. Can't remember. Just give me a roll.
Okay. Constitution. Oh, 20.
Okay, yeah, you start chewing on these things. Within a few minutes, you're like, whew! You gain a level of clarity and focus. The sleep very quickly goes from you. Your level of exhaustion is gone. You understand enough about life that you are on borrowed time here, and you think that when your exhaustion comes back, it's going to be redoubled. But this abates you a bit for now. You don't know how long this is going to last, though.
I think we have 2 camels.
Yep. Anyway.
For later.
A final thing, and then I'm going to stop.
Yeah, what? Go on. I'm not sure where I end and Ilehk begins here, but yeah. It's like Ilehk is like, yes, what do you want? Come on, Corellia. I mean, yeah, come on.
On my time spent in Asira, have I picked up any cultural norms in regards to how I display affection? Because obviously my hugs aren't right.
So because the Oseth don't really do hugs because they're covered in bones, so it's kind of uncomfortable. So they kind of have, distant forms of, they kind of either touching brows is about the closest they get. And other than that, it's kind of like, bowing. It's gestures to each other rather than in contact with each other. I'll say you've picked up that much.
Oh, forehead touch is as close as it gets.
That's pretty intimate, though. That's like an Eskimo kiss for Oseth.
I'm gonna do it, baby.
Oh,
The
God, you don't.
Eskimo kiss, the Oseth.
Okay, so
It
do
is
you go
pretty intimate
touch
moment,
foreheads
to be
with
fair.
Sethnet? Okay, give me a persuasion check on advantage. See if you gain some romance points with Sethnet.
Advantage because he loves me too.
Finally, some romance in this episode.
Yeah, right before what horrible thing is going to happen to Sethnet. Anyway, what did you get?
Oh,
It's a
no.
14.
A 14. Okay.
14.
He's kind of like surprised, taken aback by it, if anything. Perhaps we should focus on the matter at hand, Corellia. Right.
He liked it.
If you're
Final thing.
Oh my God.
Psychic message to Ilehk. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm allowed to do this. Shut up.
You are allowed to do this. Yeah.
If he dies, it won't be the Oseth you need to worry about.
Charming. I mean, just great. I mean, I can't die, but sure, do your worst. Anyway,
Is he saying that out loud? That was definitely a psychic message.
No, he's saying this telepathically back to you. I mean, he's met psychics before. He knows what's going on. Anyway, shall we actually begin now? Finally. So, Ilehk pulls a sliver of silver from his person. Oh, God, we lost someone. We lost Shannon. Come on.
After all that.
After all this. Shannon. Why couldn't this have happened earlier? Come on.
Hello, Shannon.
I'm sorry.
Shannon, you're back. All right, great. Let's get on with it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Ilehk pulls a sliver of silver from his person and he slots it into a device. And the entire arrangement comes to life. Lights flicker across the connected curios and a thin, rising whine begins to just slightly fill the air. You feel a thrum, a gentle but unmissable vibration in the floor as the divine energies begin to move within this assemblage of flesh and metal. As the spell begins, the wires binding Sethnet's hands move on their own accord. Animated by some arcane force, they seek out the gaps in his plating. Sethnet gasps as they make contact with his flesh, and motes of light begin to shift within the cabling, flowing out of the sleepers and into the two Oseth. I know Shanna's just done all this stuff with Corellia. Is anyone doing anything other than standing by in terms of actual actions regarding this? I just want to be clear if anyone's doing preparing for anything, doing anything, just before you kind of, just if there's anything like that. I don't want to rob that chance from you.
I think I think Barney's just...
Barney and Kemoset are outside. You don't know this ritual has begun. Yeah. I'm talking about alien Corellia here.
Oh, I know.
I'm assuming that I'm using my... what's it called? My sacred territory to...
he hasn't asked you to. It hasn't been involved. You can start it up.
Well, I mean, AD will do it just as a matter of course as the beginning of the preparations. She doesn't know if it'll help us.
So as soon as you came in, you started doing this. Okay, sure. The spell begins. Meanwhile, outside, Basuk has drawn fairly near to the tent, and a crowd has gathered around him. The elder Rodom is sitting beside him, silent but lending legitimacy to his words by her presence. I'm just going to quickly drink because Basuk has a very dry voice. Basuk is kind of crying out and waving a hand towards the tent. This wizard's magic invites ruin. Have our people not learned the cost of straying from tradition enough? These curses we have suffered will be redoubled if the wizard is allowed to corrupt Setnet with his spells. Kemoset, you've noticed this kind of beginning to pick up this incitement directed by Basuk. I mean, you could just see on his face as you catch it, kind of glimpses of it through the crowd, that he's, fully possessed of kind of xenophobic distrust of Ilehk and this group here. A few of this crowd do turn around to eye suspiciously at Barnelect as well, you notice.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Sorry?
How far away is everyone?
I mean, there's a crowd around. Some people.
This crowd, is it a crowd far off?
No, it's not far away at all. I mean, you could walk up to them in a few seconds. Some people have gone back to sleep. A lot of people are waiting out to see what happens with this spell, to see what happens to Sethnet. There's definitely an energy of kind of nervousness in the air. It's not. Most of them are just kind of seating, talking, sitting in silence, contemplating. But some of them have been swayed towards the kind of the anger, the suspicion of Basuk.
All right, I'm gonna gesture to Barney to stay where he is. All right.
Oh, okie dokie.
I'm having a really stupid idea.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it, man.
Let's do it.
You and me again.
This never went wrong the first time. Yeah.
do
go.
it.
Dream team, dynamic duo.
What's your stupid idea,
Okay.
Harry?
Okay, I'm about to attempt real life persuasion on Liam.
So
All right, so I'm going to stride over towards the crowd.
There's a crowd surrounding Basuk. Are you going through the crowd, or are you going to the crowd itself?
Is there anything high-ish I can stand on?
Not
Camels.
really. You're on a sloping mountainside. I mean, you could go up to the kind of the high beneath that Blood of Os tree, but that's quite a ways away.
I'm tall enough, presumably, just to be able to, like, people to roughly see me. How is Basuk addressing the whole crowd?
Oh, he's just
Yeah,
shouting.
alright.
He's just shouting. And they're listening. You know, I mean, they can see him through the crowd gaps, those kind of things.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna sort of stride towards them. Friends, Oseth, countrymen. I know your thoughts. I feel them too. Sethnet is both my liege and friend. In both of these, he has been true. But think, if he should meet his end, these are his terms. Would you protest, begrudging him his last request? I'm going to argue that I should be able to use a performance check.
No, that is
on
very clearly persuasion. I'm sorry, Harry. I wondered if you were giving
But
up
it was
that.
poetry.
No, that would have to have rhymed or been in meter or something.
It did rhyme, and it was in tetrameter.
Was
I know
it?
your thoughts, I feel them too. Sethnet is both my liege and friend. In both of these, he has been true. But think if he should meet his end, these are his terms. Would you protest, begrudging him his last request?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice. Yes, absolutely. You can use performance. I apologise. Go ahead.
No check. No check. Just let him have it. He just wins.
I can't just let him just save the day with a goddamn poem.
An inspiration.
Can't be that easy. No, you can make
I've got-
you can make
Inspiration.
He
performance.
did come up with that, apparently on the fly.
We're just going to give it a go. I've got an inspiration, okay?
Yeah.
I think I've got plus
That
7
was
performance.
sensation.
Using my inspiration.
Sure.
17 plus 7
Oh god, nice.
is 24.
24.
Okay, you say this beautiful piece of poetry. As you speak out, you know, with your clear meter, your clear rhyme that anyone listening would realise and notice. It rings true to many of the Oseth here. It cuts through the words of Basuk, which are just delivered coarsely and with anger behind them. And your words remind them of, the traditions, the noble, honourable ways of the Oseth, who were always dignified and always carried themselves in a manner befitting poetry and the arts. And you clearly take the wind out of the sails of a lot of the crowd of Basuk. Basuk will kind of, hearing the end of your words, shout to you though. He would go, so I'm trying to think of, just trying to choose my words a bit carefully here. He would go, fool! We do not need to lose Sethnet at all. We do not need to risk him to these people. This will bring naught but ruin. Rue my words, Kimashet. You are soft, you have forgotten the true ways. And his persuasion is not as good as your performance. You're taking the winds out of the group. It's not like Basuk himself has thrown in the towel, but you have ebbed things here, I think it'd be fair to say. And because that was very good, you can have inspiration for that poem. Apologies for not realising immediately. Anyway, so the spell has begun in earnest within this tent. This shaking of the floor, this strange high-pitched whining noise rises. An energy fills the air. The hairs on the back of your neck prickle. I mean, Ailey, probably your entire body prickles, given how much you're covered in hair. You see that Sethnet himself kind of goes stiff, rigid, as these wires have kind of sunk into him and move these motes of light into him. Kirili, you notice that his eyes have kind of rolled back. you think he may be kind of his consciousness might be elsewhere right now for the experience of this ritual. This has been going for about a minute. The whining isn't loud enough to permeate outside of the tent, but as that sound rises, you hear disturbing utterances grow louder to join it. As first you are unsure as the source of these new sounds, and then you see the eyes and the mouths of the sleepers are open. A half scream, half harmonious note escapes from their mouths, and in unison, this demented choir of three begins to wail, loud enough that the sound escapes Ilehk's tent to the outside. Hearing this immediately, some of the crowd are shocked, scared, and quickly that gestates turns to anger, and Basuk himself is gripped by that force, and his limbs animated by it. He strides towards the tent with singular purpose and draws his bronze blade. Kimishet, you're pretty much directly in his path. You can see that he is looking through you, but you are between him and the tent. At this point, everyone is going to roll initiative. Now, this isn't going to happen like combat, so it's not like every turn is 6 seconds. This is just going to be used to kind of mediate how we go through things. So it's not all a big cluster. But certainly combat could happen within this circumstance, so it may prove useful then. Can everyone give me their initiative checks? I'm going to roll for
18.
8.
11.
Barney, 18. Ailey, what did Ailey get? 8. Shannon, what did you get?
11.
7. Oof. And what did Kimishet get, Harry?
I got a
11.
10.
11.
Oh, 11. Sorry.
Yeah, I got a 10.
10. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh no!
I feel like I'm in the worst position to be.
Let me just write this down.
All up to the one-handed camel boy.
I'm glad I didn't suck your life juice.
Yeah, you and me both, Shannon.
So, Barney, you are the first in this. You see, you hear this wail, and pretty much, doing the math in your head, you look over to Basuk's crowd and see some of them begin to turn to anger and move towards the tent, and leading them, Basuk himself. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Can I cast Unfortunate One?
You
Not cast,
absolutely can. You absolutely can use Unfortunate One. I assume on Basuk.
Yes, on no, on everyone up there. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, you absolutely can. You catch yourself wishing this person ill will, and unbeknownst to you, it is so. You wish them misfortune.
I'm going to draw my sword because he's drawn his sword, hasn't he?
He has drawn it.
Yeah.
Although it's not like he's swinging it yet. He's holding it at his side as just a kind of an involuntary response to anger as he moves towards the tent.
Okay.
So he's not swinging it yet. Sure.
Okay, I would just like to draw mine just as a precaution and just be like, okay, stop there, please.
Okay.
The most.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Can I also do Fortunate One?
Yeah,
as
you
well
can
as
do,
Unfortunate One?
you can do as many of those things as you like at any point.
Yes, I will be. I will be also casting Fortunate One.
Cool. Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Oh, that's very lucky. What was it? Insight.
Insight.
That's +4. 23, 26.
23, 26. Okay, as you draw your sword, or I will say on a 26, as you go to draw your sword, you can kind of do the social maths here, and you can see that, like, okay, the people here who have a problem are articulating it in a sense of us and them. Conflict has come down to that divide. If you get in their way, and this isn't me telling you to not get in their way, but if you get in their way, you understand that may incite the problem.
Anger things
You,
more.
as a symbol
Okay.
of the other they are now raging against. That's again. I don't want to. That is not me saying the best way to do things is to not get in their way at all. I'm just saying you
Okay.
understand the maths going on here, how this will influence the social
Okay.
elements.
But I'm also very aware that you
Absolutely.
cannot get in there.
Sure.
Okay, I will. I will just be ready to draw my sword. I think.
Sure. I can say you can ready yourself to draw it, and oh god, we lost someone again. We just lost Sam.
What is wrong with his internet?
I
What
thought
is
his
wrong with
internet got
everyone's
better.
internet?
Yeah, what's his internet supposed to be better now?
Sorry, I don't know what. I'm sorry, I don't know why that keeps happening.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. We're bearing with it. Okay. Is that your turn then, or anything else?
Yeah. Just prepare to draw my sword in case
Yeah, prepare to
in
defend
case
yourself.
anything happens there.
Brilliant.
Just be very very aware of what's going because Kimishet's in front of him first,
Yes,
right?
he is. Basuk
Okay,
is Basuk is next. Basuk is walking. Move aside, Kimishet. Hear that noise? They're going to do terrible things in there. You should not stand by.
Do I get to reply?
Yeah,
to
you can
this?
reply. He's using his turn to walk towards you and try to persuade you to his side of things.
I promised. I've forgotten his name. Sethnet.
Sethnet, come on.
That I would not let anybody into the tent, no matter what happened.
What about your promises of loyalty to him?
That
promised to
that
serve
is
him first.
loyalty. Wait, what was that last one? I didn't hear it.
You promised to serve. You know not what will happen in there. I know. This is a strain from the path that will bring ruin to our people again.
Basuk, I do not want to stand against you, but if I must choose between you and the wish of Sethnet, I will choose Sethnet every time.
Okay, at that point, he's going to say, sure. He is going to then basically hold his sword in a stance and go, draw your blade, you fool. Inside the tent, Karilia and Ailey, or Karilia is the next in the initiative order. Karilia, you're hearing this horrible wail rising from the sleepers whose eyes are open, although they are staring just dead ahead. They don't appear to be conscious, but they are kind of thrust into waking. Are you doing anything? Is Karilia doing anything as she looks upon this kind of horrible tableau, or do you just kind of stand back, given that Ilehk hasn't asked you to do anything yet?
I want to look at Ilehk to see if this is what is meant to be happening.
Yeah, he is just moving around, adjusting things, looking. He never even looks at the faces of the sleepers. He just looks at the wiring going into them and the kind of the manna that is coming out of them and into the piping and so on. I mean, he's constantly moving across this thing like a spider in a web, checking parts, looking over formula, adjusting things.
Okay, then I am nervous. I feel like things are going well, so I think I'm just going to get ready to act in case I think Sethnet is in too much danger. Get to do something then, but apart from that,
Sure thing. Okay.
just waiting.
Harry, it's Kimishet's turn. What are you doing? Basuk has just told you.
Say another poem.
Basuk is
Say another poem.
Basuk has essentially held his sword at you and is in a dueling stance. He is essentially going through the motions of like duel me.
All right, I'm gonna say, if I must, and just draw my sword.
Shing, you draw. I don't. Has Barnlek seen this sword before? I can't. It is sheathed normally.
I don't think I.
Yeah, no. When we met, I was sparring with. Basuk.
Oh sure.
Yes,
This white sword made of this strange kind of porous material, but it has this fantastic, perfect edge to it. And it appears to be made of just one continuous piece of material. Anyway, what is Kimishet doing? You just draw your sword?
Yeah, I can't do any like little stances or anything, can I? I can't like prep myself.
I mean, you
I'm
could,
just gonna
you
go
could say you ready an attack if Basuk swings for you. Sure.
I'm going to start in like I assume this doesn't have a mechanical benefit, but in just like a defensive-ish pose. You know when you hold your sword like that?
Yeah. Sure.
Like
Okay.
across you, and it's supposed to be good for deflecting.
So
I'm going to do that.
In combat, you can take what is called a dodge action, which gives people disadvantage on attacking you until the start of your next turn, if that's what you want to do, which is effectively you getting ready to parry blows if you want.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that because I get to do something if he misses me. Right?
Okay, Ailey, you're hearing this. You're seeing this kind of horrifying sight. This whale is rising. Is Ailey doing anything?
How loud is the wailing?
You can tell it's loud enough to be heard outside.
Mm-hmm. And Ilehk doesn't seem at all concerned.
No, he hasn't reacted negatively to this. If anything, it appears like this is part of the process. This is some kind of.
And how is what's his face?
Sethnet?
Sethnet. How is he taking it?
He appears to be just completely rigid in his kind of meditative prayer-like pose. His eyes have rolled back. You think he is not present, essentially. His body is kind of held in this rigorous pose as these wires have kind of snaked into his arms.
I think
or wormed.
Ailey is going to... I picture her sort of... She plants her staff in front of her, and her ears are folded back, as a cat's would be. And she stares at the sleepers waking, and she stares at Ilehk, waiting for a cue of if he needs anything.
Okay.
But her lips move almost effectively soundlessly as she continues to chant, but it's lost amongst the screaming.
Sure thing. Okay. So that's Ailey. We go to Barney's turn. Sam, is Barney going to do anything else here? You can see Basuk and Kimishet are kind of basically have adopted stances and are now both waiting for the other one to swing, possibly.
Yeah.
The crowds behind Basuk, just to explain the circumstance, are kind of, it's a hair's breadth from this circumstance exploding. They are held back by the kind of the formality of this duel of this Basuk who is leading them between Kimishet, who stands in their way. But circumstances might change. They may ignore this to rush past. This is a powder keg.
Yeah. Oh god, there's really nothing I could do here. Well, there is lots of things I could do, but I think I'm just going to obviously watch the duel, but also just have keep my perception around if in case anybody's going to try and sneak past and get in.
Absolutely,
I think that's
sure thing. Give me a perception check.
Okie dokie. I will.
Remember, I'm
gonna use my inspiration.
Cool.
That's better. Perception. Plus 4 is 6. 21.
21. Whew, nice. Okay, you're a camel. You've got wide range of view. You're keeping an eye out. Your head is high. You're looking out if anyone's skulking around, those kind of things. Basuk has taken a pose. You've taken a pose. The tension breaks. He swings. He's doing these on disadvantage because you're dodging. What's your AC?
Remember, he's also unfortunate, son.
Oh, yes.
As well.
Oh, blimey. All right. What's your AC, Harry?
My AC is 17.
Cool. All right. First one's going to miss. Oof. Jesus. He's not rolling very well here. I mean, with the -4 and a disadvantage, he got a 1 on that roll.
So wait, he's missed me. I can do a reaction attack.
Swings. You can sense they're half-hearted. These swings. He doesn't want to fight you. You are misguided. But yeah, he swings twice at you. You can use a reaction if you want.
As a reaction, can I turn the sword back and try and just push him away.
Yeah, at any point you can say, yeah, you can push. Do you have a reaction that allows you to make an attack? Is that it?
Yeah, riposte. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can use reaction, expend 1 superiority die to make a melee weapon attack against the creature. If you hit, you
yes,
add the superiority
I will let
die.
you replace that melee weapon attack with a push. Yes, absolutely. So
Do I have to roll for that?
yeah, you will roll athletics against his athletics.
Okay.
Cool. Oh god, this unfortunate son is a horrible thing. He got very bad.
Oh, my athletics is +6, 15.
15. Okay. Sure. Yeah. You, in an instant, notice he overextends his front foot, and you come down low and hit him in the side, and he kind of grunts. You know the sensitive points. You know the gaps in the plating of an Oseth, and he kind of grunts and staggers back, knocked back, but he is not harmed particularly by your blow.
Can I shout something at him?
You can absolutely talk. Yeah.
This was Sethnet's decision. Why are you trying to disobey him?
He's gonna. At the end of his turn, his words are going to be, "I am trying to serve him." Corellia, I mean, I think Corellia's doing the same thing here, right? Not much. Her circumstances haven't changed. So I think we're going to focus for now, given that I know what Ailey and Corellia are doing, on Kimoshet's turn. So Harry, it's your turn. Do you do anything?
Can I just take another dodge action?
Absolutely. You can constantly try swatting him back for ages if you want.
Yeah, I'm just trying to buy time.
Sure.
To be honest.
Sure. Okay.
You should just embarrass him, make him seem foolish, rather than like, if you kill him, they'll kill you. But
Yeah, except I wouldn't do that because I'm not a horrible, horrible person like Ailey.
He is going to adopt a thrusting stance and swing for you. Unless is Barney doing anything else? I mean, I'm going to kind of continue things with.
No, he's like kind of aware that if he gets involved, that it will kind of make things a lot worse.
Cool. Oh god, terrible, terrible. I hate rolling with disadvantage. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Yes.
He's going to go for it.
He uses a piercing attack, and although you just almost managed to get out of the way, he manages to thrust over and nick you on the shoulder with his blade.
Can I have a parry skill? You can use a reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack.
You can do that. You absolutely can do that.
What's my proficiency bonus is 3. Okay, it takes up to 20.
Yeah, okay. That he got overall a 18. So yeah, with this, you just managed to raise it hard enough with the process you underwent called the hammering. Your bones are tough, and as this blade strikes against them, it doesn't pierce through them. It just grates over them. Sparks fly in the night. He's still got a second attack though. So.
Oh, brilliant! I didn't.
Oh, and that rolled a lot better. He hits with this one on a 20.
Is that still with unfortunate?
Yeah, that's with unfortunate one. On a disadvantage, you got a 14. That's including disfortunate one. He deals you damage. He deals you 8 points of slashing damage as he kind of angrily strikes against you.
8. Oh, whatever. Still over 40.
And he's going to make an intimidation check now that he's drawn blood. And he does very well. He slashes across, and the brunt, with his anger behind it, the brunt of the blow, breaks through your guard, cuts across, catches a gap in your armor, and your blood splatters across the ground. He turns back to the crowd. Having drawn blood, he kind of almost revels in having scored a blow against you first, and turns back to the people behind him and says, "We are all equal servants of Setnet here." And turning back to you, "All of us should do our part in fighting for this. It is my place to duel Kimoshet, but it is the place of us all to save Setnet." And he flicks the blade off his sword and begins to fight you, while the rest of the crowd behind him, on a very, very good intimidation roll, begins to move forward. Barney, you can do something at this point if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go. People,
You're going to do a poem as well.
stop the madness.
All right, give me a persuasion check or disadvantage.
No. It's
Oh, okay,
more of
sorry.
a. Is it okay? It's still kind of arguing about trying to encourage them to stop. So is it still a check on disadvantage?
Yeah, I think in these circumstances it's going to
Okay.
be disadvantage. Yeah, for sure. You do get to add your d4
Oh,
though.
yeah, I love it. Oof. Can I change my disadvantage to?
If you
my
rolled a
luck
1,
roll?
if one of your disadvantage rolls was a 1, you can re-roll it with one of your abilities, but you can't. You would
I
have
can't
to.
change it with a path, golden path roll.
You can no. Golden path rolls can only influence people around you. Can't influence yourself.
Oh, of course, yeah. I keep forgetting about
That's
that.
right. I got it once as well.
Yes. So, I
Do you have inspiration?
just used it.
What did you get, Sam? Come on.
I got 7.
7. Okay, yeah. Your words are. There's wailing coming from the tent behind you, drowning you out, and a half-hearted speech after Basuk rolled a 19 on intimidation. Does not connect with the hearts of the people here as they come forward. Are you drawing your
Understandably.
sword? I mean, you can take you can do what Kimashet is doing and basically just defend, try to kind of push people away and so on.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm not going to anger them by drawing my swords against them. So I'm going to take a defensive stance, Vic.
Okay, cool. That's kind of you using your prepared action, I'll say.
Yeah.
So Basuk just acted. Kirilia, you're inside. Are you doing what you were doing before? Just getting ready to help in case anything goes wrong.
Can I hear the crowd outside getting riled, or is my attention
Give me a
kind
perception
of
check because you've got wailing going on around you. Actually, I'm going to say perception check on disadvantage, but not too high a DC because you've got wailing around you, kind of blocking sound.
that's natural 20 and a 5, so that's a 9.
Yeah, you haven't heard it outside. Unfortunately, you are kind of preoccupied with wailing and your possible romance option. Sethnet kind of caught in a shuddering kind of rigor. Yeah, I think Karilia's just kind of bracing in case anything goes wrong, right?
Ilehk.
Oh.
I ask Ilehk how long it's going to take.
Ilehk is going to be kind of absentmindedly. Not long now. It's all about to start getting interesting.
I don't trust this fucker at all. Oh, why did we agree to this?
So, Kimashet's turn. Basuk has drawn blood against you and used it to incite the crowd as a kind of indicator. Look, I'm winning this duel, and to kind of so therefore I've practically won it already in a certain way. What is Kimashet doing? I will say you don't have to deal damage when you hit. You don't have to deal lethal damage when you hit Basuk with an attack. You can choose for things to be non-lethal if you wish. That is within the rules.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking wreck him.
Or you could just kill him. Yeah. I mean, that's totally fair.
He can fuck off. Like I gave him 2 turns worth of dodging. I'm going to action surge. I'm going to attack, and then I'm going to extra attack, and then I'm going to attack again with my action surge.
Okay, well, give me the first 2 attacks. Are you applying any effects to these, by the way?
Am I applying what?
Are you applying any effects, by the way?
I don't.
As in any techniques? I just want you to be conscious of them, given this is the first time your character is ever in combat.
Yeah, I know. I would like my final attack. My second attack to be a disarming strike.
Oh, nice. Okay, sure.
Actually, you know what? We'll go with the first attack being a disarming strike.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Attack number 1.
Do you pick when you hit, or do you pick when you attack?
I think it's when you hit, so I can do it whenever I actually hit one. Wait, I have 3 attacks, right? I don't get to extra attack off
we
my
lost.
action.
We lost Shannon this time.
Oh, farewell, Shannon.
Oh, goodbye, Shannon. Anyway, sorry, Harry. What's going on?
Do I get to do 4 attacks or 3?
If you do action surge, you get 4 attacks.
Okay, I'm doing 4 attacks.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to say, I want to cheat you here. Your poetry in motion is it's best served to action surge at the end of a poem. I don't want to give too many things away here, but yeah.
I forgot what that did.
That is a fairly integral part of your character's overall build. So I would read that.
That is true.
But no, you do.
No,
I'm just letting you know so you're not
to...
cheated later.
I want to do all 4 attacks this time.
Brilliant.
Because
Go
I'm
ahead.
pissed off because I
Sure.
got it. All right. I did my first roll, and I'm going to initiative it immediately.
Initiative it.
Not initiative it. Whatever it is. What's the thing?
Inspiration it. You're going to use inspiration.
Do you want to do that, or do you want me to give you?
It was a natural 1, so I'm definitely going to inspiration it.
Oh, then let me give you 19.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I will allow
19.
Barnlek to
Yeah,
influence
have the
here. Yeah. Okay. You have 19 on the first attack. You're deciding
that's-
strike on this one. So give me damage.
26.
Yeah. I mean that
Arm
hits.
that.
He can't even parry that.
What's the... I'm rolling the wrong dice, sorry. 1d8 plus 6. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus the disarming strike thing.
So you do 8 damage. All right. Hold on, where's my pen gone? All right.
Oh, and I've also got to roll the superiority die, right?
You slash him across the breast, and now he has to roll I think it's strength saving throw. You said.
Yeah, I also add my damage.
Mm.
The dice, which was an 8, so that's 16.
Oh, 16. Blimey. Nice. That's a solid hit against him. And he rolls... what's the DC against it? It doesn't matter. He got a 19. I'm pretty sure that beats your DC. So he's not disarmed. As you slash across his chest and then try to knock the blade out of his hand, but he manages to hold firm to it.
Okay, attack number 2. That one I am going to initiative. Not initiative. Why do I keep calling it initiative? I'm going to...
Inspiration.
Inspiration. That is a... So 6 or 9, it's a 9. So plus 7, 16.
16. Okay. 16 does not hit. It clatters off his armor. He, like you, has undergone the hammering, so he has very tough bone cameras.
I can't hit him again.
Capitalist? No, that's not right. I can't remember literally can't pronounce the word now. Anyway, sorry, Harry. Your third attack.
18.
18. Okay, he will parry the blow out of the way. He has a lot of the similar moves to you.
I didn't hit him, so I can't. And last one. 26.
Yeah, he can't parry that. You strike again.
I'm going to do another disarming attack.
Sure thing.
I think I can do 2, and this will be the third of my, what's it called?
Nat 20s on the disarming saving throw, so he doesn't drop his weapon, but give me the damage.
So that's 8 plus 2 plus 6, which is 16 again.
16 again. Wow, you've done 32 damage to him this turn. That's very nice. You have slashed him twice across the chest. Blood stains his white bone crimson. He staggers back.
Can I
breathing
say
pain.
something? Can I say, do not mistake my unwillingness to hurt you for weakness.
Give me an intimidation check, and I will allow an advantage because you did an absurd amount of damage to him here.
18 plus 1, 19.
19. Okay. You say these words, and you put your glances out to the crowd around, and you see that some of them are dissuaded as well with your words. Basuk is kind of possessed by anger at this point, but given your poetry earlier and this intimidation now, a number of them have dropped away. It's only a few people around here who are kind of like Basuk, not going to stop until someone stops them, basically. So that's Kemoset's turn. Ailey, it's your turn inside. Are you just carrying on as you were doing before? Anything new?
I have 2 questions.
Sure, go ahead.
The first is, can I detect the events going on outside?
Give me a perception check.
13 plus 4 is 17.
17. Yeah, you hear the clang of kind of swords crossing and shouts and cries. You think that a kind of a rabble has been stirred up outside.
My second question is, can I activate an effect of my sacred territory during its process?
Sorry, say that again.
So my sacred territory, I 10 minutes to
goddamn.
activate. Oh, goodbye, Sam.
Keep losing
10
people
minutes
this
to
episode.
activate, and then it goes on indefinitely, I think.
Yeah.
Or
And
it goes on for a time.
Yeah.
But then it says I can spend spell slots to gain bonus effects.
Yeah. Sorry, you asking can
And
you
I can
spend
do
them like
that
after you
as we
begin?
go. Yeah.
That's not really in the spirit of it. I'll allow it in this time.
Okay. The second question is, if I were to make objects within my sacred territory invisible, can I do it selectively? And can I do it, or can I do it within a less than total radius?
I believe what it does is essentially it's. I think the spell itself, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm going to keep things going here. I think what it does is essentially detect what is kind of normal terrain and then makes everything else invisible. So someone going to this tent would find it an empty tent.
But I couldn't say.
Although I think if they go beyond the barrier of it, things inside they can see. So they'd have to stay right at the threshold to see only things inside as invisible.
I'm considering trying to make the entire tent disappear. But I think it wouldn't really help because they would still be screaming.
Yeah.
So it's not the best.
That might not help. Yeah, possibly. What's the range on the territory?
Let's have a look. 20-foot radius, so it's pretty big.
I'm going to say this tent is slightly too large. It's a big tent for a 20-foot radius. So you can make everything inside invisible, I'll say, but you can't make the tent itself invisible.
What happens if I make a light source invisible? Does the tent become dark?
Yeah. I mean, essentially what you do is you create a sphere of holographic projection that renders what the place would look like if the things inside weren't there. I mean, Ellie, you can just Ellie can keep on.
The invisibility serves my purpose is the thing.
Sure, I think you have to make a decision though, because
it gets in the way. Sorry, say that again.
I think you're gonna have to make a decision on what you're doing there.
Yeah.
You can just ready to strike at someone if they come in or something, if that's what you want to do.
So is the sacred territory centered on the staff?
Yes.
I would like to plant the staff, make the contents invisible, and then step to the edge of the area and sit cross-legged, silent in the mouth of the tent, so that anyone entering encounters a passive monk and an empty tent.
Sure, there's a flap covering the tent entrance, so if they come in fast, they might trip over you, but sure.
That still serves my purpose.
Sure, great. Okay, that's you. Right.
Okay.
The round ends. You see the magic heighten in this place. This choral scream, and I said they are all perfectly harmonizing with each other in a way that kind of implies this creepy synchronicity between these three separate bodies. Light magic pulses throughout this thing. It twists the ether in such a way that instruments that are outside of this whole design sometimes flicker and spark to life themselves. These forces begin to flow into both the corpse and Sethnet, and you see the device containing the three vials shudders, and fluid from both bodies rises up these tubes from the needles placed in their backs and goes into this thing, and you see that one vial fills these globules of red, what you think is blood held in this clear suspension, gathered together, and for those of you who are scrutinizing it, you see some strange unnatural process go in. It's almost as if the blood itself undergoes transformations in the nature of its material, from liquid to crystal to gas to solid to liquid again, goes through these strange transitions before it settles once more as a healthy crimson blood. That's what you see. One of these vials has filled, and the blood from Sethnet and the corpse continues to flow into this box. Barney, you're outside. Some members, I will put it, 7 Oseth are watching. Crowds around are kind of getting up. Some of them are trying to grab their brother or sister or father or mother or child from this crowd, but some of them are encroaching upon the tent.
Okay.
What's Barney doing?
Do I recognise any of the people coming up closest to me that I've met during the day?
I'm gonna make a. I think a fire alarm just went off. That's probably my sister's cooking. I don't think anyone can hear it though. Right, I'm gonna make a luck roll.
I think it's...
No, I can very much hear that.
Oh, can you? Shoot, sorry.
I think it might be me.
No, it's me.
No, I think it's... Yeah, that's good headphones.
Okay, the sleepers inside go into a syncopated, high-pitched wail, and that's what you're going to imagine this fire alarm is. Yeah, sorry about that. I might have to vacate here if this place catches on fire, but hopefully not. So, on the luck roll I've done, I'm going to say that you don't recognise any of these people. I mean, there's hundreds of Oseth in this community. It would be very, very unlikely that you would know one of these people personally. I mean, you think maybe you've seen one or two of them around, but yeah, sure. I don't think you recognise them. Unless you have a golden path roll you want to influence, because I rolled a 13 for your luck, and I expected a 20 for you.
I have a nat 20.
I will let you replace this nat 20, this 13 with a nat 20, and you know one of the people here.
All right, let's do it. I've got...
one of them is like, coming up to you and goes, "I don't want to harm you, Barney. Step out of the way."
What's their name?
We'll call this one Ados.
Ados. Listen. You don't want to go in there at this moment in time, because this will probably cause so much more damage for Sethnet. I remember the name. Yes, points for me.
Good for you.
For Sethnet, then going in and help, it will do so much more damage than good. I promise you that.
Give me a persuasion check on advantage, because I think you got like a very good roll for your persuasion when you went amongst the community before. So
yeah. Okay. 2. That is on advantage, was it?
Did I say on advantage?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I think so.
You're adding D4. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, advantage. You're adding a D4. Yeah.
It was persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion.
Yeah, it's 25.
You grab hold of his shoulders. You, with your big watery camel eyes, look into his kind of sunken skull head. He kind of looks down at the stick he's holding and goes, "What am I doing? Barney, I'm so scared. Please, Sethnet is our heart and soul. He must survive." He drops the stick and turns around and goes, "This is not the way," to his son, who we'll call Rodros. He grabs him and turns away. I will say you've taken out, in a certain sense, 2 of the people encroaching on this place. Of course, there's a few others, but you have managed to persuade 2 people. I think that's a turn, unless there's something else you want to smuggle in there.
Okay, yeah. No,
yeah, shut through the heart.
I'm just gonna have to deal with these people one by one and try to appeal to their better nature.
You're gonna have a heart-to-heart connection with all of them. Harry, Kimichet has badly wounded Basak. He is going to second wind. Do not so great. He turns around to Rodum and shouts, "Rodum!" And kind of walks towards this old woman and essentially reaches onto her person and pulls out what you know is as a ceremonial blade, which she was just wearing earlier as part of the ceremony of having a quorum, but it's still a functional Oseth weapon. And you recall at this point that you know that he has had to practice one-sworded style, given the scarcity of weapons here, but Basak is someone who practices with 2 blades. and he
Sorry,
twirls them around.
he just turned around and walked away.
No,
Why
he
don't
walks
I get an
back. He
attack
walks back to
opportunity?
Rodham, who's a bit behind him, and literally just kind of pulls a weapon from her person and shoves her.
I definitely get an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Sure. I mean, if you want to slash him across the back, yeah. I figured this was kind of you'd cut him twice, you'd knocked him back, you'd intimidated. But if you want to kind of lunge forward while he's distracted, attacking.
Just look a bit. I've been
In
kind
the
of.
back!
Yeah,
Kill him!
You know
No,
that.
I've kind of got the honourable.
Shale.
Yeah,
upper hand
attacks
here.
to the back are would be outside of the realm of honor here, but up to you.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. No,
Sure.
I'm not going to do that.
What if you wait till he turns back and immediately cut him on the front?
Can I just go? Don't turn your back on me.
Sure. You can attack of opportunity if
You've
you
got to
wish.
say coward.
It's up to you.
No, I'm not attacking opportunity.
Okay.
I'm just ranting at him.
He turns back. Oh, don't worry. We're going to settle this. He's going to say, I've suspected you for a long time, Kimashet, and he's going to action surge as a whirling dervish comes towards you with his blades. So first 2 attacks. What's your AC again? It's a 17, right?
Yes.
Both
Has
of those.
he still got
Fortunate
one going,
He does. Let's do that going. So that still hits. But that misses. He's got an attack that is going to hit unless
Wait,
you
can't
parry.
I just make it? I could just make it up to 20 every single time.
No, you only get the one reaction. So you react, you get to block, and then that's it. That's for one attack.
Right.
So
So
you
the
can
first
you
attack
can
misses
parry
anyway.
one. You can parry one if you want. Come on,
Yeah,
Harry.
can I just parry the second one? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. He is going to use Piercing Strike. Doesn't succeed. He's going to use Piercing Strike on the first one as well. Does succeed. So that's 1 hit. He's burning through all of his technique, all of his superiority die here. Second 2 attacks. He rolls a nat 1, which Barnlect you can influence if you wish. Both of those attacks suck. And he got an unfortunate son 1, so he got a 0 overall for that roll. But you can influence that nat 1 if you wish.
How do I influence that again? Sorry.
You have a special ability that allows you to. I think I might be wrong.
A roll of I've got cursed roll. When an attack is made against you, you can expend 3 luck points to roll. Then I can either swap them.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that's wrong. Actually, okay, this is probably the good time for this.
Do I get a new skill?
Barney, how is what is Barnalek's feelings towards Basuk? What does Barnalek wish would happen to Basuk here?
I wish that he would get his arse beat, and that would therefore encourage everyone else to back off, because he's kind of like the leader of this thing.
Can you burn 4? Do you have 4 luck points to burn?
I do. Yeah, I've got loads.
Okay. Can you burn 4, please? And Harry, do you want to make a riposte roll for the natural 1 he got on advantage, please?
Hey, big spender.
Spend a little time with me.
Spend a little luck on me.
Dun, dun, da, 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 da.
19
19.
for that riposte roll.
Nice. Okay. He swings wildly at you, and by the way, he did deal, I should say, 13 more points of slashing damage on you. But with these last 2 thrusts with his blade, as he goes to thrust, time slows down for a moment for you, and you see a fissure upon this bone blade, this ceremonial blade he's drawn from Rodham, where it struck against you before, and in a perfect movement, nothing wasted, you almost seem to not move, and yet you are suddenly swinging your sword up, and you shatter it through this ceremonial blade and strike against his hand. And on 2 very bad strength saving throws, you disarm his other blade. You shatter one, you knock the other out of his arm, and it flies back and into the dirt. Do you want to roll that damage on that riposte?
Yeah, I got 18.
18 damage. Do you add the roll to the damage?
Yeah, you add the superiority die.
Awesome. Okay,
So
that is you do all of his hit points.
6.
Do you want to kill him in this moment?
No.
Okay. You in one blow strike and just kind of swing around and bring the pommel of your blade square into his stomach. His bone dents, almost a crack put into it, and he stumbles back, falls to the ground, gasping as you have so thoroughly winded him. His blade is broken, the other lost, in a perfect moment of luck. Because these ceremonial blades are not supposed to break. This is a 1 in a million chance for something like this to happen. But you shatter one and disarm the other in a brilliant stroke of luck and stand over a winded and gasping Basuk with your blade before him.
Can I say that blade broke because you betrayed your master?
Give me a persuasion check.
It's not great, mate. I mean, sure. What? A 9 plus 1, I think, which is 10.
Oh, 10. Okay. He is kind of.
Surely advantage. Why?
He's gasping like, but just managed to get out a kill me between it. He's lost, but within his code, he does not surrender spiritually. So death is within custom. The only appropriate response. But you can decide what you want to do here. But essentially him saying that is him saying, I'm not going to quit. Anyway, that's your turn. Or that's his turn, and Barney influences it. A crowd is moving towards the tent regardless. Their champion has fallen. I'm going to roll to see if they hold their nerve. Some of them don't, but a few are heading in. Barnley managed to stop a few, but
can I ask? Can I influence that?
Influence what? Oh, this roll. I'm rolling kind of as a group collectively a wisdom save. It was pretty low anyway, so there's only a couple of people trying to get in at this point.
Okay.
I don't think you could. I don't think you could really influence it any lower, particularly.
Okay, fair.
So, a couple are going into this place. Just making a note. Ailey's standing at the entrance, right? So I'm going to have one make the one who kind of bursts in. And I will say as well, actually, with your perception check earlier, Barnley, you do see one who begins to go around the side and pull a knife and kind of clearly is going to go down the side of the tent. One of them, on a very bad dex save, comes in, immediately tackles into Ailey on accident and stumbles into this place.
To be clear, I was sitting. My goal was to be so sort of maximally vulnerable and so therefore shameful to impact or hurt. I don't know if that has any impact.
Yeah, they've just gone through the flap and not noticed you and got a 4 on a dex save. So they have just, both legs collided with you and just fallen forward, eating shit. I'm going to roll some luck for them now to see how they fall into the ritual.
Fuck.
That's some very bad luck. This person collides
not
with.
Good for us.
This person, they got a 4 on luck, and you basically won. Yeah, 1 to 5 is bad. Worst case luck. This person collides with Ailey, falls forward, I think goes through the sacred territory, so is suddenly within this area where they see everything. So completely disorientated. And as they fall, the cleaver that they were holding cuts into one of the cables flowing through this thing. And the manner they're in begins to spray out this strange gout of these floating motes of light that kind of pulse and flicker and fade to nothing. Ilehk is immediately, no! As this person has stumbled through. Kirilia, give me a psychic check, please.
Okay. I got a natural 20.
You got a natural 20.
27.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Okay. Time for you stops, and you look at this scenario and you perceive it purely psychically. Your other senses are meaningless here. You feel the flow of life within this thing, and you have a moment where you perfectly understand the dynamics within this thing. It's there for a moment. It's like a dream. You almost forget it once it's gone. But you feel this thing moves life like you move life. And because this thing ties flesh and artifact, perhaps you can be a part of this just as much as anyone else. Perhaps you can be a current along this thing. You think that you could step in this moment where time has seemed to have stopped to take hold of where this cable is severed and maintain the circuit.
Well, I do it, most certainly.
Now, do you remember what your maximum hit points lowered by in the last session? This is important.
Do I not have a long rest?
You have not had a long rest since then.
Okay. Well, the annoying thing is I write everything down in pen, so I can't say for sure what was from last session and what's just. But
I believe it was 20-something.
let's see. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
You don't remember? Okay, you should
And
keep
then
it
get
over
the
these
camel
things.
now.
I think the most recent number I have written down is 12, so it's probably 22, 25. I'm going to say they're lower by 25.
I'm going to say, I think 22. I can't remember the top of my head. I'm going to say 22. So your
Okay.
maximum hit points is lowered by 22 right now, which brings it to what?
15.
Okay. So do you reach forward and grab this thing?
Yes, I do, sir.
Compelled by instinct, you just neatly step forwards. You know, time still seems to be stopped by you. You know, you kind of go past an Ilehk with an outstretched hand.
I'm
going,
gonna
"No,"
die.
and just gently put your hands on both this thing, and you feel the lightning move into you. I'm going to need you to make a psychic check. Is there anything you're doing psychically? Any flavour you want to add to this? Anything you're thinking? Anyone you're calling out to? Any of those kind of things within this moment?
I remember I visited the big cat boy. Yeah, that guy.
What's his name?
He told me, Master of Masters?
Yes. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that his name does translate to that. So sure, fine. Just want to check if you knew the name.
Big cat boy,
Tell you what,
master
for
of masters.
inspiration, what can you tell me what his actual name is? Master of Masters is the translation.
I can, because I write shit down, man.
Brilliant.
It's Alajur Alaj.
Alaj jo Alaz. Brilliant. All right, you can have inspiration.
Inspiration.
Okay, so
Thank you.
you grab this thing. Time is frozen as this mana instantly flows through you. You form a bridge, but it is coursing through you. What is Corellia doing?
I remember that he told me that life, something to do with being grounded, right? Can't remember exactly being grounded. So what I'm aiming to do here, or thinking about, is the life going through me, through the ground, up and then up again and through me on the other side.
Like lightning bending in Avatar: The Legend of Aang.
Like lightning bending in Avatar. So then, no bad effects for me, no lightning damage for Shannon. No, I'm not alien. I'm
Okay.
very nervous.
I'm going to make. What's actually? Could Corellia make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh, is anyone else very nervous?
Me too.
15.
15. Okay. You dwell upon these thoughts. And as you go to put your hands down upon these things, another pair of hands join you, and you look up at the body of Lola, but you see that the neck stops flat, and instead above is a ball of gold. A voice in your head speaks, "Come, I will show you how it is done." And can you make a psychic check on advantage?
Yes, I can. I don't want to at all. Okay, 18. 25.
25.
You dice.
You move through instinct, and you psychically reach within yourself and grab like a net, this current moving through you, and you move it through you so that it just seamlessly passes through. Where if it would just take its normal course, it would go straight through your heart and destroy it. You bend it around.
Gotta get it down to the tummy.
Through the stomach. Yeah, you remember Uncle Iroh from Avatar. You move it through the stomach and back out and along the veins and through to the other side of this cable. And for a moment, you are just a perfect part of this machine. Time continues. You have moved through instinct and grabbed this thing. Ilehk has gone, no, and then seen you step, and those of you around, Ailey, kind of looking back, I mean, you can't even see this, actually, because it's all invisible, right, can you? So you've just seen this person stumble through and disappear. So
it depends if he kicked me into it or not. I'm very small.
I'll say he kicked you into it. You've been knocked back and you're essentially looking up and back, and you see just light coursing through Kirilia's body through the flow of this thing. Lola, you see, has appeared to have kind of reached forward and is holding her hands in place there. Kirilia, you look up and Lola kind of recoils. Sorry, I move. And kind of just looks at you, and you are basically kind of just looking beyond. Your body is kind of full of energy, just moving at this point. You're just a conduit. You're just a part of the machine. So kind of Lola just kind of steps back, nervously unsure of what has happened. She figures she just moved through instinct.
Do I see the golden orb?
You do not. No, you just saw Lola holding her hands there and then kind of step back nervously.
Okay.
This person has moved in.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Barney, there's one more person going around outside with the knife. I think at this point,
Yeah.
a few things have been resolved.
I rugby tackle him.
Yeah, sure. Give me a athletics check against his arcana.
Here we go.
I would say Kirilia has leapt forward, grabbed this thing. The circuit continues. A second vial fills. This clear suspension holds this blood that again goes crystallization and gas and becomes strange, fractal, porous structures, and then returns to blood again. What did you get, Sam?
24.
24. Yeah, you tackle this person. They're just kind of trying to hit you, but you kind of hold their hands to the ground. This last person inside. What does Ailey do? This person has stumbled into the circle. Their cleaver has gone through one of these cables. They're kind of, I was going to say, yeah, they're a natural one on a wisdom sec. They're so kind of confused and panicked about what the fuck is going on. They're almost paralyzed for a moment. So Ailey can act within this as well as Lola.
Does Ailey think she could just offer this person a sort of a structure with which to understand this?
I mean, that would take a long time of talking and reasoning, I think, rather than this is kind of split
seconds. I mean more like if you tell, like, if he's totally adrift, offering any, like, this is what it is, you have to do this, might be enough to push him in a certain direction. Even if it's just like,
okay, I will say that it's possible. It's a hell of a gamble. I'm going to make a pure luck roll if you want to try to say something and see if this compels the person.
No, if it's not psychology, I don't think it's.
I think this is too immediate for psychology here, I would say.
Can I change the invisibility to something else? Can I shock him with illusion?
You can end the sacred territory. I don't think this person will perceive anything differently if you do, because they're inside of it currently.
No, can I activate a different effect of the sacred territory to create images?
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones that you can activate without casting putting in spell slots, right? Yeah. You can create holograms within this area if you wish.
What I want to do is I would like to I would like to have images of Oseth rise out of the darkness to him and say, "Leave this place. You will harm your elders."
Jesus Christ. Okay, give me a... I'm going to say intimidation on advantage.
Okay. It's a big +0, I think. What's my bonus? My intimidation is +0, so I roll a 17.
Your intimidation is 17. Okay, yeah.
Make it a DC 20.
These flickering, juddering spectres rise within this strange magical cacophony, and warn, all you who enter here. I'm going to say in that moment of distraction, Lola is going to essentially leap and grab this person and pull them back out of the circle. And with a very deft kind of acrobatic move, she essentially uses her legs to lock them, and holding their heads and basically gripping on the ridge of their brow, has a knife underneath their chin, where an Oseth is soft. Essentially pulled them back and has them in a pin where she can kill them pretty much instantly.
I think as Ailey sees this, she takes her hand off her own dagger's hilt.
Sure.
Because that was her. She was like, "If this doesn't work, I gotta try something."
At this point, I think the narrative takes over. The third vial rises up and fills, and again, this blood undergoes this strange transition. A crescendo of magic bursts forth and rattles your bones, and in its wake, all the devices in Ilehk's tent flash and flicker, disturbed by the passage of this arcane energy. And then the thing calms. It dies. The sleepers cease their wailing. Their eyes and mouth close. Kirilia, you kind of gasp, and you feel kind of pins and needles all over your body as you let go of this thing, and kind of your hands are shaking involuntarily. The energy ebbs. The wires that are binding Sethnet's arms, some of which are kind of smoking, peel away, where they have gouged into him almost. They split away. The needle in the back of his and the corpse's neck retracts and goes back into this thing. And Sethnet gives a gasp and kind of staggers forward. And I will say at this point, are we all right going a little bit over 10, by the way, everyone? Just about 5-10 minutes. Staggers forward and collides with Kirilia. And for a brief moment, both of you are kind of just trembling, shaking in this strange, kind of pins and needles, distant, uncomfortable sensation, kind of just holding each other and kind of trying to help each other up. Sethnet rises. He kind of shaking. Kirilia, the pins and needles kind of ebb. You have more or less control of yourself, although there's still a bit of a tremble to your hands. Sethnet is very weak. Do you help hold him up? He turns round and sees this person that Lola is pinning. They're kind of there looking back, wide-eyed, just kind of going, Sethnet, are you alive? Sethnet kind of hoary voice whispers to you, can you help me outside? You help him stagger outside. You see that kind of, these crowds have become agitated. Some of them are trying to pull their kids away from this. Barney is holding down a person who's trying to swing for them. Chemoset stands, blade at his side, over the winded form of Basuk. Rodum has been knocked to the ground from when Basuk pulled the blade from her. And despite his lack of energy, Sethnet bellows at the crowds, "Cease this at once!" Which booms out across this place. He is possessed almost suddenly of this energy that he seems to be lacking recently. A stillness sets upon the crowd. He speaks again. "The wizard's work is done. I will now have him prove his magic has worked. Turns to Kimaset, looks down at Basuk. Kimaset, gather some knights who stayed loyal to my words and take Ilehk into custody. Ensure someone's eyes are upon him at all times.
Take Ilehk into custody.
Yes.
Right.
He looks around, looks back to you for his protection and ours. The rest of you disperse. You will know whether we are uncursed soon enough. The commands, at his commands, the Oseth people do what Sethnet says. They kind of very quickly begin to return to their abodes. Once there is a kind of sufficient dispersal of crowds, the legs give from Sethnet, and he kind of stumbles to the ground again. Karilla, you kind of help him not completely faceplant into the dirt.
Can I actually suggest that Ailey does that, because she was just creeping up behind him to say something.
Oh, what? You both of you grab him from either side to make sure he doesn't fall down?
Yeah.
Sure.
But
Karilla, you see his legs give, but Ailey reaches out and grabs his arm.
As he staggers into her, she says to him softly, "Life, health, strength be to you, Sethnet. Well done."
Right. At this point, he is there, both of you with him. He is kind of, slightly frazzled. Kimashet and Karilla and Ailey. Ilehk is inside, kind of sits down. You kind of, maybe some of you catch him say to Lola, who's just kind of lets this person go and takes them out, who's just kind of sitting there. That was some pretty fucking good magic. Kind of snaps his neck. He's clearly got adrenaline kind of running through him. Kimashet, Karilla, Ailey, as you are there kind of obeying the commands of Sethnet, you pause as you see Sethnet undergoing a subtle change. Something you notice that he doesn't. Where the heart is and blossoming outwards, a lively, rosy redness has begun to spread beneath Sethnet's plating, recolouring his greying exoskeleton to a slight crimson. The change is hard to see in the sparse torchlights, and no one else but those around him notice, but those of you next to him do. I think we're going to end there.
Are you serious? That's not...
We can go on for another 20 minutes if you want, but,
I can't.
we're supposed to end at 10, and I need to eat food. Yeah, there we go. We made it through, everyone.
Oh man!
Did we win? Did we do the voting?
You did very well, actually.
Is the game over now?
Did we do the thing?
Yeah, I mean, we could just end the campaign here. The Oseth are cleared. That was the whole objective from the start. That's where you began.
Yeah.
That's where it ended.
The door opened. Jurab's there.
Jurab comes out of the sack and says, "I was there the whole time."
Did you say, Sam?
I just had a caveat of the guy that I'm like rugby tackled. I just get off him and it's just like, no hard feelings. I'm Bartley. Just like introduce myself and hopefully create
I
a
think they
friendship
flee into the darkness. Right, I think we're going to end there for tonight, everyone. Inuarashi, I have seen your comment. I'm excited to know that the expansion of Caves of the Cuds, Tomb of the Eaters, drops tomorrow. I will play that.
Ooh, very.
Cool. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you, guys.